Yep. Yep. We're doing it, guys.
We're doing it.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. How was
Hey.
We never really catch up.
No.
We never go
really
like,
don't.
hey, girlfriend.
Okay, tell me.
We don't do the chat. We don't do the chew up front.
Let's chew for a second.
Because I was trying to think of what I could even share. I did stand up thrice this weekend, which was a thrill.
Yeah, thrice thrill.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
It was not ideal. One was on a truck. One was both. They were all in parking lots, but like a fucking thrill.
Everything's a bringer show. Like, does everything feel a little like an open mic?
Yeah, but it's kind of worse than that. It's like an open mic meets a FEMA meetup. It's not. It's shitty. It's
Right.
legit shitty, but
you'll
great.
take it.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
because I don't really need to. I just need to know if the joke's gonna work.
Right.
I don't need to know like, well, it didn't get the full.
The Tammy Joe one
glory.
was they were in their cars, right?
Yes.
But do people honk
They
or do
have
people?
clackers.
Oh,
So
that's
you
funny.
say a thing. So you don't.
Is it kind of-
But they laugh and they clack.
But is the clacking like? Does it feel a little like pandering? Like
Yeah, they clack if they clack in lieu of laughter because you can hear the laughter. If your joke hits, you can hear laughter. If it's decent, it'll get like clack, 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 clack. And you're like, don't fucking clack
just
at
don't
me.
clack.
Yeah.
Do you think people were getting pity clacks?
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like, yay, thank you for being here.
Yeah, I think they were. I don't know what the rules are, by the way. Because I did a show in North Hollywood where people were outside in a parking lot, just distanced. And then the one at the Magic Castle was in a parking lot, but everyone had to stay in their car.
Well, there's no live entertainment in LA County, so.
Yeah, but it's not illegal. It's not, I mean, it's like signed and everything's.
I don't know. Maybe the car thing is fine.
Yeah.
The fact that, but the one where it's just people distance, no. Oops.
So people can't sit in a park?
There just can't be an organized live entertainment.
That's so odd.
Yeah.
I get it, but it's.
But like at the store,
but
they
I
were
kind of
doing.
don't get
They
it.
were doing it through the window, like people
Yeah.
in the OR in the window,
And they got cited
and
or
then
something, right?
and they got cited. And they're like, no live comedy, no live entertainment at all. But it's like, well, they're far.
They should have it, but you can't kill. You can do the show, you just can't do that well because then it'll expel more poison from people's heads. And I saw my niece.
Cute. I always forget you have family.
I know. My niece is a therapist.
Oh, she's old.
Yeah, I got old nieces.
When you say niece, it's
I know, they're 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she like flew here on her own.
What'd you guys do?
Stay with her friend. I picked her up and then took her to Best Buy to buy a camera for this godforsaken podcast, and then dropped her off at brunch.
That's nice.
Pretty great. What an uncle.
I went to the beach.
Okay.
I love the beach.
Uh-huh.
And went to the beach with some friends. And I'm not gonna lie, in Corona, I forget what I did last week. Like I forget. Like it's just like, let's just get through this.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's fine, it's still like, okay.
Well, nothing. I did a joke that's not powerful enough for stand-up, but I said that I was talking to a friend of mine about like what I did today, and I was like, I showered, and I went outside and walked for a little bit, and I cooked for myself, and I sound like a paraplegic. I just sound like a paraplegic because like I'm really making a full recovery. This is not a life.
This is a half life.
Yeah.
This is
If
quarter
tops.
life. Yeah.
Okay, so if you're watching on video,
boring.
you're watching it as a clip because guess what, gang? The full episode thing that you demanded, people don't like them. They don't, in terms of viewership, clips do so much better than full episodes. And so we're just going to start doing clips. Now, here's why we're going to do clips, because they do better. And because this is a topical show, we record on Monday, right? We talk about the week before. So we're talking Monday, and we're going to talk about something that happened last Tuesday. So if I don't wait to get this material out, it's real stale. I don't want to wait 10 days to get out a thing about, the NBA strike or whatever, because you guys are not. It's like, sorry, man, you can't. We're going to have a separate full channel. This is now going to be a clip channel. So if you want to, people were like, well, I turned on my alerts. My phone was blowing up with all the alerts. Fine. But to either turn the alerts off, or we're going to go back to releasing the full episode on Thursday or Friday. Okay? Will's going to start us a new channel called HowNealFeel. How about that? And it'll be full episodes.
Why don't you just release the full episodes on this channel on Thursday like normal?
We can, but that's, we can't. Because they're like, because I'm there for the full, they're going to find a way to complain.
They just say, we don't even need, just be like it'll Thursday or Friday, you'll get the full episode.
Yep.
On the video.
Okay.
And everything else, if you're not, just know that that's when it'll be there.
That's when it's coming. So if you don't want to if you want to turn your alerts off, we get it. We're all adults here, but Bianca needs to make a living from the podcast.
Don't blame me.
And by the way, look, I'm doing fine. By the way, the audio is the only place we make actual money. The video is, and by the way, also releasing the video hurt the audio. So there's no advantage to us releasing the full video other than that's how you like it.
Wait, why did releasing the video hurt the audio?
Because we released it. If we release audio on Tuesday and video on Wednesday, they don't need to listen. They don't need to get the audio on Tuesday. They can just wait for the video on Wednesday, the full episode. We moved it up a day.
But some people don't audio. Some people only video.
Okay, well,
most
those
people only audio.
I know the amount.
Yeah, most people audio only.
Yes, I know the amount, gang. And guess what? You're going to have to wait. Your life, I guess, just got a little bit worse. But by the way, the only
Neal,
reason...
don't be condescending to the viewers.
No. Well, the way they talk about it like it's a violation.
We're talking about, what, 5 dudes in the comments?
Yes.
Okay.
But they must represent something, right?
We represent.
Yeah. So the only reason they watch is to see you. So, you know what I mean?
But let's be honest, most people don't watch, so most people don't realize how hot I am. So.
Well, they do now.
And Neal does okay.
And I do a pretty decent business. Bianca, how's the dick biz for you?
Oh, so good.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. So that's
what are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about, we'll talk about our businesses. Okay. So, Will, now that you're here, I might as well say this on the air. We don't need the time code on the YouTube video.
The timestamps are good.
No.
Oh, sorry.
The stamps are good, but I don't need to know that if you advance to 8:16, you'll get it. They can just hit the fast forward button. They can just go to the next notch in the thing.
Like in the description?
Yeah. I don't need like 0000 is the first thing on our, which is just looks bad.
It has to be that in order to get the...
Oh, cocksucker. These YouTubers.
You don't know, Neal.
These YouTube cocksuckers.
Neal don't be knowing.
But we all learned a lot there. This just became a tutorial at this bitch. By the way, guys, speaking of tutorial, Ken Sang, the DP, came the other day and really hooked us up. Bianca's got some real soft lighting. We made this different. We put some
it's smooth. We have
frosting
for the
thing.
audio. We have a set we built, and the logo is lit up in the middle of me and Neal, and it looks very nice.
Yes, you can find that on HowNealFeel. I'm kidding. No, it's all going to be the same.
No full.
No full. You want it all. Just so everyone knows, we're not going to do a full channel because that's what people are saying. Do a separate clip channel and a full channel.
Who's saying this?
That's how Rogan does it. So that's how everybody's supposed to do it, right? So Joe's got and Theo's.
I just feel like everyone's subscribed to ours right now. So just they already know. Like, it'll be Thursday.
Bianca, they want a separate clip thing and a separate full thing. That's what Theo has. That's what Joe has. That's what everybody has. So I'm going to give it to them with your permission. Despite the fact that you think you don't, that's not what they want. I can show you multiple comments, and that's like the way it's done now.
Well, it's not that. I just think that there are like you're saying, the viewership for the full is not as much as for the clips or audio. So we don't have like Rogan's doing
But there are
millions of
people,
views. We are
right?
not.
But at one
I love
point,
my feelers, but there's
right.
not a million.
But what I'm
of them.
saying is they want they don't want the alerts, so they're gonna they can unsubscribe to the clips and they can subscribe to just the full. How Neal full.
Listen, if that's what they want this for.
Yes, I'm telling you
I
that's
just
what they
think
want.
it's like, I'm just thinking it's easier, but
Of course not. But you're not an animal who craves looking at video of Bianca.
just call
You'll
it
look
how
at it every once in a while, but you're not a monster who needs to see.
they have an insatiable
luscious-
appetite for
yeah.
binky.
Yes, for luscious binky.
Luscious binky.
Luscious binky, binky luckish, luscious. Guys, you're not going to believe this. There was another shooting in this country.
Didn't have to do with the race, did it?
Yeah, Bianca
No.
did.
What?
Yeah. So they shot Jacob Blake in the back for no reason. Or, no, I'm sorry, they had good reason. He said, hey, I have a knife in the car. So, and my 3 kids and knife, just so you know, I have a knife in the car. And even if he got the knife, what did you think he was going to do with it, cops? How nice did you think he was with the knives?
Right.
Like he could have been whoever the king of the knives is. He could have been that nice, and you still could have shot him. Just wait. Give it a second. I'm not saying don't shoot him. I'm just saying let him get the. I am saying don't shoot him, but I'm saying let him get the knife.
Let a problem present itself. And I understand if you took our statements and put them in certain situations, someone might die. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that we're not saying that, hey, cops, wait till they have the weapon pointed at you. It's just that video. It's such a perfect angle of like, he posed no threat to me.
It's almost, remember the thing in Highlights magazine, Goofus
Yeah.
and Gallant?
I loved Highlights, yes.
It's like Highlights magazine for racism, where it's like white people get this treatment and black people get this treatment. It's like so bald and it's they were nice about it. They did it on consecutive days.
Right.
One on Sunday,
Right.
Jacob Blake gets shot in the back, and then on Monday, Kyle fucking whatever his name, Rittenhouse, walks with the cops who give him water and walks past them when people are going, he just shot somebody.
And he even was kind of like surrendering because he thought, all right. And then they drove past him.
You
he was even
look, guys, even for a white person, you gotta.
Really?
That was bad even for a white person, right?
Yeah, he was like, he was a little BLM for a split second.
Yes.
He was just like, they're not
lock me up.
gonna.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get out of town.
Yeah. So it's cartoon. It literally is cartoonish. It's like one thing, and when a black person does it,
right.
And then there's all those videos of white people the kid who like has a gun and is running, and the cops chasing him, like, hey, like on some fucking Benny Hill shit,
right?
Where the cops, it's just kind of fun.
Yeah, and he's like, you do it, and then the cop's like,
the cop might as well be going like, get, like on some fucking Dukes of Hazzard, like what shit. And it's like you'd think they're kidding.
The funny thing is, for a long time, you're like, well, if this was like this, they wouldn't say it, or if this was like this, everyone's a hypocrite. This is proof they're full of shit.
Yeah, there is no.
He was a
black
nice
people
guy.
And white people are treated differently. There are 2 sets of rules. There's the black rules and the white rules.
We just have to start admitting it. Well, not us, but then I think, okay, who gives a fuck? Like, we know we don't actually need someone. It's like if you're in an abusive relationship and the person beats you, and they just won't take ownership and they always blame you. Yeah. Part of it would be nice.
You mean a healthy, good relationship? Go ahead.
By Neal standards.
You mean most male-female relationships? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so at one point you really want them like, do you see how you're hurting me? Mm-hmm. But let's say they just won't. I mean, that doesn't you aren't tethered to them. You know, you really need to move on for yourself. And I think just overall, white America is not gonna, you know, they have their own divide, you know, and there's a portion of white America that's does not matter. They are never ever gonna get it.
And to the second point, black people are stuck here. Black people cannot move on. I was saying to somebody, black Americans should get asylum everywhere. I've said it here. Black Americans should get asylum in any country they want. Like, hey, I'm here. And they're like, what country are you from? America. Oh, and you're black? Yeah, come on in. That's as good as having a civil war. It's as bad as, I mean, it's not as bad as like Rwanda or whatever, but it should allow you to go to the UN and go, yeah, this is inhumane, right? We can all agree.
It's just so funny because everything the far right are crying for, are afraid of, claim is happening, is literally happening to black people.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that they are,
the tyranny that they the right the conservative white people think the government tyranny is happening to black people, and through their actions they go, oh wait, we don't care about that.
Yeah, it's like, well, what did he? I remember I saw like there's a conservative website I look at, and then I get upset, and then I turn it off just to balance
it's
it
like
out.
a cold shot. It's like a cold rinse.
Cryptotherapy. And those comments were like, Blake was a vicious criminal. Thank God they shot him. He was vicious. And I was just like, man, anything.
What did they think his charge was?
There's a moth. He has a 3rd-degree sexual assault charge. I don't know what that is. That's not child rape. I think it was a statutory wheel.
And he's not a stand-up comedian? Let me get this straight.
Not that
he's
I
got
know of.
Who in their right mind would get anyhow, guys?
No, don't play it, but just can you find what his 3rd-degree sexual assault is? Anyways, eventually. But it's that 3rd-degree sexual assault. I'm like,
yeah, so
what does that have to do with
that's the thing is any crime by a black person is death penalty. Jaywalking. Well, if he's black, we're going for the death penalty, right?
Sinister black guy.
Yeah, Yeah. It was funny. Did you see the meme about how they had him cleaning graffiti?
I was just like,
and then a couple yesterday were Charles Manson playing guitar at a church, and Ted Bundy doing the dishes, which is fucking Ted Bundy doing the dishes. He looks fantastic.
So wholesome.
He's one of the hottest. He's an 8. Let's be honest.
I don't think he's attractive at all. When people,
interesting.
I remember I had to go back and look at Ted Bundy. Like, is this a white dude everyone's talking about? Like, can you pull up Ted Bundy really quick?
There's an over. I wonder what the over under is.
Ted Bundy hot, right? Hot. Ted Bundy hot. Like, he looks like a creepy neighbor to me. I don't understand the Ted Bundy thing. Right, how is he cute? Wait, what's cute about that guy?
That's a good look. I know people you've dated that look like that.
No.
Yes, I do. I don't want to name names.
Well, don't name names. He doesn't look like that. But anyways.
I like that the guy below to the left, that's the security guard from the Michael Jordan documentary.
Really?
It's not.
Oh.
No. But it's Will. You know I love a lookalike. So Will, hopefully you'll do some
okay, I guess he kind of looks like ugly Rob Lowe there.
Yeah. By the way, did I tell you I refer to myself as ugly Rob Lowe as of a week ago because I'm aging well? And I'm like Rob Lowe, except I'm ugly.
That's
Rob Lowe.
You've actually used the term.
Yeah, I said I'm like an ugly Rob. I was on the phone with somebody. I'm like an ugly Rob Lowe. Rob Lowe's like 60. So
his image, it's so manufactured.
Yes, and so I've decided I'm going to start referring to when I see Bloods and Crips wearing red and blue plaid shirts. I'm going to start referring to them as black lumberjacks. Because that's clearly what they must, why they must be wearing those clothes. They're lumberjacks on their way to the forest to do some jacking, as it were.
I need to read you this. Did you see the Times I mean, it's not like the Times is so fucking amazing, but this is
The New York Times?
No, just like the Times, the UK one. The Times. They literally they wrote an article, and this is how they categorize Kyle. Good old Kyle. Keep talking. I'll pull it up in a second.
Okay. So he also did you see the video of him punching a girl? And then the black
Wailing
dudes
on her. Yeah.
are like, we're gonna fuck him up for punching a girl.
Right.
Which is it's another one of those cartoon things.
Yeah, it's like
where you're like, so black dudes saw him being fucked up to a woman and intervened where there's other white men there
that were
fine with it,
or
fighting
her.
And you would think, if I told you the scenario of like black, white, you would go, well, so the black guys must be bad guys, right? And we can prove it. It's like, no. Actually, the complete opposite. That they were defending a woman against this guy, and this guy, whereas the black guys defend women from Kyle Rittenhouse, and Kyle Rittenhouse defends stores against black men. Like, okay, it's like a cool, fucking fake. It's like an O. Henry story where you're like, it's too convenient. I don't know how this better be amazing.
This guy wrote. This is the title of the incident that went down in Kenosha. A bullied teenager who revered the police and found purpose as a vigilante will appear in court today, charged with murder after 2 people were killed during a night of unrest in Wisconsin. Like a bullied teenager who revered the police. And so they got so much backlash. Who
bullied him?
Who fucking knows? I don't know anything. I never heard about bullied. Maybe at the...
Did the girl that he beat up, she bullied him?
So they had to pull it, and they received all this backlash because it was like, who wrote that? Some guy named like Ben Weil, but it's like some white guy. That's like, that's like, to me, I'm like, how much spin do you need?
Well,
a vigilante?
They don't. And then Tucker Carlson defending him and going like, are we surprised? It's, by the way, it's Chandler, everybody. He's Chandler. Tucker Carlson is Chandler. Are you really surprised, Monica, that a white boy took it into his own hands? Like that's just, it's another thing. It's another cartoon bias. Like, or what would the right wing blogosphere, what would the press say? Ann Coulter said she wants him to be her president. Just like,
but here's the deal. Black people aren't welcome here.
No.
They're either tolerated,
yes, or
they're unwelcome. And we are numb to it. So I'm sure there's people who are like, you guys are being a little dramatic. But we're but I think we're not talking about it in a day-by-day basis. You know, not most people on a daily basis aren't like getting pitchforks.
There's no signs that say blacks this way.
But there's sundowner towns. That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
And I knew that before Lovecraft Country. Believe it or not. There's all this shit where I'm like, we're not welcome. Black people are here. So what are you going to do? You know what I mean? But they're not welcome.
No, they don't. Black people are not welcome. And it's so fucked up because white people made black people come. It's not like black people came here and white people were like, hey, get the fuck out of here. White people
they would have gladly
went
left
and picked them up, kidnapped them, chained them up, brought them over here, and then we're like, the fuck are you doing here?
And then we're like, I hate that you're here.
Yeah.
Ooh, that skin.
Motherfucker, you invited me. You more than invited me. You forced me to come here. Yeah, but I just wanted you to wait tables until that portion was over.
Imagine it's like being invited to someone's wedding and they're like, work.
Yes.
The wedding. What did you think you were going to celebrate?
Yeah. We're both getting close to the matter because it's complicated because it's like they didn't invite them. they kidnap them
No,
at
I'm
the wedding.
saying if we, kidnapped.
They kidnap. That's the thing.
Okay,
The problem is the kidnapping.
Okay.
They kidnap. That's where white people fucked up. It's the only mistake white people make. They kidnap black people, brought them to the wedding. And the black people were like, what am I doing here? And they're like, fucking, first of all, don't speak whatever language that is. You're speaking wedding language. And you're going to wait tables. And then they do that. And then they realize like, oh, this is wrong. We don't want you to wait tables anymore.
You're making me feel guilty.
Yes. Now I don't like that what I did. And yes, I'm going to put statues up. So.
You know, I was on Reddit and it was the video of the two black dudes like narrating the video of him punching the girl. Mm-hmm. And so many white people. I wish the black dudes didn't say we should pistol whip this motherfucker. I like that part. It's my favorite part.
I liked it on the street, but in terms of like a mass.
No, come on. Look at what he was doing.
No.
Like
but
what
it's
he
an
was
eye for an
doing.
eye problem. It's an
Yeah,
eye for an
well,
eye problem.
People gotta get used to that shit.
Yes, it's an eye for an eye problem because then Kyle Rittenhouse sees them and goes, I'm gonna shoot these mother. It's like, let's leave guns out of it. Just let's restrain each other without guns.
Right.
That's my only note.
Oh, is that Okay.
Yeah.
So people were like a bunch of white people were giving examples, and someone wrote in the comments like, yeah, there was a fight in a parking lot, and us and our friends drove in, and our friends in the other car were two black dudes. And there was a huge fight, so we just pulled into the whatever fast food parking lot and waited it out. So when the fight was over, and then cops came to break up the fight, everyone scattered. They were chilling in the car until everything was cool.
I think I know what's gonna happen.
Found the black people and they were like, "Get out of the car!"
Yeah,
and they were like, "We didn't do anything." And then all the workers and other people were like, they just pulled in.
It's actually fun. It's another one of those. He beats up a girl. The black guys go to stop it, and then the black guys get in trouble.
The cop told the black kids, detain them for like an hour, not arrested them, but detain them. Sorry. And so after an hour, he was like, you're lucky these people stuck up for you, or else you would have been in a world of shit. I'm like,
the black guy's lucky.
He's lucky because black people aren't welcome. They weren't welcome.
No,
you're not welcome if you do nothing and you could lose your life at any moment because someone doesn't like you.
You're welcome. You're not welcome. You're like you said, tolerant. Even the word tolerant, the Museum of Tolerance. I remember when they opened the Museum of Tolerance, I was like, I don't love that word.
I think
it's pretty
have you been
low.
In there?
No.
I don't think it's about, I don't know.
No, it's not about black people. It's Jewish people. But just the word tolerance is like, couldn't do better. The problem is the opposite of tolerance is like glorify. You know what I mean? Like it shouldn't. That's how racist people are. Is we had to build a museum to the idea of tolerating Jewish people.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy how racist people are. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Tolerate? I don't know, man. Let me see it.
Right.
Let me see it. All right. I'll give it an hour. And then they come out and go like, you know what? I'm going to tolerate some Jews. I can do it now.
I've seen the light. But then now the guy who died in Portland, he's
the right-wing guy.
Right-wing guy who died in Portland.
Yeah.
They're like, he was a medic. I'm like, dude, maybe he had something going on, but he was from out of state.
Yep.
And I just find it funny that when the protest happened in late May, early June, everybody from out of state was a white Antifa agitator, out of state agitator. Stay out, go back to where you came from. And now these people, like online, they make caravans to go into these places just to agitate, and everybody makes an excuse for them. So
you could also make a case that Black Americans deserve an Israel.
That's what I always say. The only reparation should be a place that they won't get killed. Give them land. And guess what? If you took away even land that wasn't even being used, but if you took it away, even if you bought, what happened with
is
Palestine.
again, yes.
Well, you don't
which
take
I
it away like that. There's plenty of acres. There's nobody
not
living
good, not good land. Not like anywhere anyone wants to be.
Right. Well, in America, you can at least pay them for what you take. Everybody's gonna have a problem with it.
But
Where are
you could
putting
give
the
them
black
like
people?
West Texas or something. I mean, like a.
Do you know how many Texas people are gonna be like, chick, give us West Texas?
Tens of thousands?
What's going on in West Texas? Never sure.
Well, I'm saying that's a big area.
Right.
And I had a thought earlier, which is it's odd that white people loathe black people so much that white people even like Native Americans.
Right.
Like that shit,
They
like
feel like-
Wounded Knee, and then there's white militia people defending. They say that like these natives got violated and don't tread on me. They side with the natives in that one.
Right.
In like
right.
the Wounded Knee, but as soon as black people, they're like, well, that's part of the game.
Right. Sorry,
That's just
man.
gonna happen. I mean, you gotta it's a death penalty. What'd you do?
Yeah.
It's so deep. It's so deep.
Because we were like slaves, and although my slaves went to my family slaves went to Latin America. Let's hot button topic. Hot button.
Well, can you do like weed smoke, fake weed graphics?
This is so fucking stupid.
It's amazing.
I just like that's like reggae music, like as if they just
Well,
announced-
because what happens is the dance people got to run to the dance floor.
I know
when
it's
they hear it,
reggae music
when they
and
know that it's coming.
I just well, that was so fun. I forgot.
I know that your people can't. That it's how deep racism is.
How deep is your love for me?
Yes,
To quote
and-
Cisco, it's just how deep is your racism? Like how much? The problem is black people are slaves, and that I think there's something psychological that no one can get past. No one knows how to figure out to get past the shame of it, and then the guilt, and then the lower class and everything. Like, how do we get past that? Immigrants coming here and being mistreated is different than you were a slave, and we tried
and
everything
because
to
with the
destroy
immigrants
you.
thing, you will get hazed out of it. Irish immigrants, Italian immigrants.
Yeah, you get hazed out.
You get hazed out. You get like fucking clean.
Yeah.
Mexicans are doing any Central American, Central and South American people. That group, Latinos, get fucking clean up.
Yeah.
You want to be in this frat? You scrub floors for 20 years, and then you graduate. You matriculate up.
I did that Harvard Iranian speech. Remember they emailed you? And I did it, and it was about like anti-blackness and Iranian diaspora, but it was also just about how do you speak to immigrants about Black Lives Matter? Because immigrants are not team black people. And my point was like, the problem is that they come here and they don't know the language, and they don't know the culture, they don't know the customs, they don't know anything, and they can somehow carve out some sort of financial independence above black people.
matter with black people?
So what
Yeah.
the fuck is you have everything. Like, and the thing is, I understand that fully. And I suggested, tell them, imagine if that one, they wouldn't even be coming to America. It wasn't on the backs of blacks that made this country in like a position for economic prosperity, but whatever. Just tell them, like, imagine.
I feel like that point of view is too esoteric for white people. For most people, like, if it weren't for that, it's like, it's too much. It's too.
Then next step is like, imagine. So Iranians came, especially to LA in like the late 70s, right? And I was like, okay, imagine if a bunch of Iranians came here, and they were met with prejudice and but they carved out like a community. And then imagine if someone just bombed that community, just took it away, bombed it, killed your people, and then you
poisoned it, bombed it. Over prosecuted it, arrested half the people.
No real justice for you.
Yeah.
You just had to kind of go away, live in tents, find something else. And then whoever survived that massacre moved to another state. And then the same thing happened. And then there was rapes, killing, babies taken away, no justice, no education, no funding. And then every time you tried to climb up the prosperity ladder, someone just shoved you off.
Yeah.
Every time. How many times would it take till you just stay down?
Yeah. But I don't even think that has more to do with black psychology. I'm talking about not black psychology. That sounds like the staying down thing sounds like what that repeated oppression does
What
to
I'm
people.
saying is when like immigrant diaspora come here and they look at black people, they're like, "What? You have everything. Why are you? You
Bro,
have
watch
so much."
this.
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
but
it's
you don't
different, buddy.
get it.
Yeah.
And when you tell someone, well, you don't understand, they're like, every immigrant has a really shitty, legitimately shitty story.
Yeah.
That it's like, oh yeah,
Sweep.
yeah, clean.
Yeah.
Like you said. So it's hard for them to get the psychology of being beat down for centuries.
Yeah, because it's cartoonishly, you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it if that happened. You just wouldn't.
And I think if you even told some immigrant parents that, they still wouldn't believe you. No.
Because it's so cruel.
It's
Couldn't. I mean, I have a thought like maybe black people need to wear body cams.
just.
I don't know what else, because the cops won't turn theirs on. So give them to black people and let them wear them. Do you know what I mean? Like there's got to be some
I just
recourse.
think there needs to be protocol for when you approach a black person. Like, let's just admit it. Like, hey, turn on your phone camera, please, ma'am. I'm going to approach your car. Cool. Just have it be. Let's just do it. It doesn't have to be weird.
Who's saying that? The cops are saying
The cops should be like, I'm going to approach you. Can you please turn on your camera?
I can't be trusted.
And they would never.
I know what I'm like. I need you to turn.
Ooh,
you need to keep me honest.
Ooh, trigger happy.
You need to keep me honest. I can't help. I'm almost shooting you right now, if I'm honest. That's how I can't. I don't even know what's happened. Something's overcoming me.
Right.
Something needs to change. Like we keep saying that, but body cam. When body cams got implemented, I was like, this will help, and then they just turn them off. Well, it's like, okay, then why do you? They can't turn them off. They cannot be allowed to turn them off.
They should just be going and going.
Yes.
There's
like a Nest
surveillance.
cam.
Yeah.
My Nest records. It costs $10 a month.
But you know what's funny is that there was an incident in North Hollywood where someone was like, there's a man with a gun somewhere on the streets. So they just saw a black guy running. Maybe 10 minutes later.
Well, that must have been the guy with the gun then. I think shoot him now and then ask questions later.
The guy takes out the AR-15 in his car and and just like murders him in front of the school. And they go and there's no medical they kept saying, they're like, okay, turn off your body cam. Like,
yeah, you can hear it.
You can hear it. One guy didn't turn off his body cam. And nothing's happened. So even when you see the proof, I mean, like it's something else has to change. That's just a Band-Aid on a symptom. It has to start before the body cam.
Yes,
people
but you're talking about 100-year process.
It's a long.
Honestly. I mean,
you'll
honestly,
definitely be dead by then.
Well, not with this vegan diet.
Dr. Sebi.
Yeah, have you seen the pills I've got? You've seen the pills I'm packing. First of all, with Solar Ray, a sponsor. You're not. Go to freevitamind.com. I will be dead, but guess who else will be dead? A lot of innocent black people for no fucking reason.
I don't get the killing part. Be prejudiced all you
Every
want. Why are we killing people?
Crime is punishable by the death penalty in white eyes.
It's such a fake Christian nation. It's just like I don't get the disconnect in this country. This is the most hypocritical, full of shit, doesn't know who it is country. It's like, we want to be this. I'm like, even the things the far right is saying, I'm like, you're going against your own principles. Like you don't like anti-fascists?
They don't. I did a daily show about it. They don't. I'm against anti-fascists. Well, you know what that means? You're for. Means you're for fascists. Just if you quickly double negative, take those away. Negative or that cancel out. For pro-tifa. You're pro-tifa.
You're pro-tifa. That's so funny. Pro-tifa.
Sometimes I used to write for TV. Every once in a while.
Pro-tifa. But everything that's fascist is what they're against.
Yes.
I don't understand.
But because it's fine if you do it to the Browns.
These Browns don't count.
Yes, they're not full Americans. I would say 3/5 is still about what white people think they are.
It's like 4/5 now.
Yeah. Like LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron gets a 4/5.
And then it's like, ooh, that 1/5 is like shut up and dribble.
Yeah. Dave's
Being
a
a bad black
4/5.
guy.
Congratulations. A couple people. Rihanna, Beyonce, Jay-Z. They got their extra 5th. Take your 5th. There should be a ceremony like a gold record. Like, we present you with another 5th of citizenship.
It basically is for celebrities.
Yeah, that's what it's like. Chris says it's like the being a fame is the greatest gift God can give a black man, because you just become a white person.
Unless
you're not a special white person.
Bad.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Then
There's
it's like,
a leash.
ooh.
Yes. Then you actually go to 2/5.
Now you're below everyone.
Yes.
Because it's like, we loved you.
You hear me, Chris Brown? He became like below fucking.
He was never above with white people though.
He was getting there.
Almost there. Almost
He was. You know what's odd though? He's like 6/5 with black women. Somehow with a young black women.
Damn cheekbones.
Yeah, he's fucking great looking and dances tits off, and he's a great singer.
I have a Chris Brown concert tee, and I can't wear it.
You're
Even
making
though
a statement.
Well, it feels like, what the fuck, you beat up women. I just
Yeah.
know. But at the same time, I feel like white America is so harsh on black men,
That's
even when they
exactly
make the
right.
same mistakes
that's
as white
exactly
men.
right.
So it's like you feel like a traitor both.
Yes,
It's
that's
like, well,
the
fuck that.
thing
You
with
can't hit
the R.
Rihanna.
Kelly and Bill Cosby. And they go, why do black people defend them? Because they're not going to just hand them over to white people, because they know that they're not going to get a fair trial. Even with millions of dollars, they're still... Bill Cosby got to 4/5 and like a half.
There's some, though, that have floated away from the black community. It's like Stacey Dash, you can have her. Candace Owens,
do
like,
what
it's
you
like,
want. Yeah, but they were never... Bill Cosby was 9/10, and look what he had to do.
Stacey Dash all she did was fucking B-list black movies.
Oh,
And she was
no,
like-
but she did Clueless. That's how white people know her.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to resolve it. It's unresolvable. That's what they call an unresolvable segment. And that is the end of this clip. The RNC, big thinkers.
Dude, did you watch it?
I watched Trump's lullaby.
Lullaby. Dude, what's her face? Guilfoyle.
Tato Cup. You know what that was?
like,
I meant to put this on Instagram. That was the white lady version of the speech from the Warriors, where the guy goes, "Can you dig it?" It was the white lady version of "Can you dig it?" from the Warriors.
It was so bad. It was
You hear me, suckers?
I just want to know who coached her, because someone told her that was good. Someone told her that was a good idea.
It was the. I think Marr did the observation that it was the white version. It was the liberal, Republican version of the Howard Dean scream.
Oh yeah.
It was like the white. It was the Republican version of that. It's someone who's not used to dealing. Just public speaking. It's public speaking. You can't hit those notes without a response.
Yeah.
If you go up there, you sound like a lunatic with that. Like,
Just like an empty.
like you can't, you're just left with nothing.
They should have played cued music.
Yes, it's a cue. It's a fireworks cue.
Yeah.
Pony. It's just something.
God,
Explode. Turn it over.
Turn it over. Pyrotechnic.
Unleash the hound. Yes, pyro it. But
Pyro
she didn't. She had nothing. But the rest of it, I
They had
didn't really.
It was like, it's just, they're all very corny events.
Yeah.
Just really corny events. But somehow the Republican side is always a bit cornier. It's just
Because
always just a bit
Republicans,
like,
there was
not
a
cool.
study. There should be a segment called "They Did a Study."
Yeah. Somebody.
Eric Johnson.
Yeah, Eric.
Eric Johnson. We need a song called "They Did a Study," and keep it, Eric Johnson. Keep it. You
Tight.
know how we need it.
You know
Okay.
how we like it.
Put all the Eric Johnson touches in there. Little pre-chorus,
Little echo.
chorus, and then degrade. As only you can. They like symbolism. They love symbols. They love institutions. I think we've talked about it. Conservative. They want to
like
conserve.
a franchise.
Yes. Conserve. How have things been?
Right.
Let's keep it that way. Whereas liberals or progressives, it's progress. Fucking, let's make some progress on the way we've done it. Yeah, we've done it that way, but let's do it differently. Let the gays get married. Yes. You know what I mean? Yes, healthcare, whatever. So they love the Americana, and
it's the same boring shit though.
Yeah, it's been the same boring shit since like the 50s.
It's like, I feel like those are the people that go see Fast and the Furious remakes. Or just like those same old
remakes
stories.
Or the sequels?
The sequel, sorry. Who's seeing
I think
the same
you're
movie
underestimating. You want to know who's seeing Fast and Furious movies? Fucking Latino men.
They love it.
I mean,
why do Latino dudes love Fast and Furious?
That's who's seeing it. Because I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
I peeped this when I saw the trailer for the first Fast and Furious. Producer named Neal Moritz.
Okay.
The brownest, beigest cast of a movie ever. There's Paul Walker's the only like white person in the movie, and look where it got him. Paul Walker, but you know what I mean? Like Paul Walker's the only. It's all beige, khaki, black, Latino. There's no just like white people. So if you're a brown person who is, you know, didn't go to an Ivy League school, and Carr movies work internationally, as I think we've also talked about, because you don't need to speak English to understand checker flag, fucking foot hitting gas pedal, black car, white car. Hey, now the black car's in front, and the guy's driving, and he's like, I'm gonna beat you to that other flag. It's fucking a baby can understand it.
Yeah.
So count your money.
Right.
Count your money over and over. And apparently they're just, I've never seen any of them. Never seen any of them.
First one's not that bad. That was all I've seen. That was enough.
People thought, I heard the 7th one was very good.
Nonsense. I don't, like, if the 7th one is great, I'm not watching it.
Yes.
There's so many other things to watch.
That's like a joke that I tried one time about when people go like, when a series starts slow.
Right.
Like, look, it's a little slow. By the 7th episode, that's like saying to somebody like, I want you to meet my friend Steve, and I want you guys to drive from New York to Chicago. From New York to Chicago, you're not going to like him.
Right.
But I need you to get past that. It's like, dog, if I don't like him after fucking 12 hours, it's not going to happen.
Right.
And I'm not giving that much leeway to a TV show.
Right.
That's like
The Wire took me 3 episodes.
The Wire's the only, The Wire's, of course, the Wire, that's, I'm not going to say it's built that way, but there's something happens in the 3rd or 4th episode of the first season where you're like,
hot diggity damn, I'm
something
invested.
just got in me.
Right. It's
like I see these people as my family, and I need them to live and be okay.
I need Barksdale
to
live.
Yes. But yeah, so that's the exception. But symbolism, Americana, but that's the same thing. Foot on pedal, steering wheel,
right? For
eyes.
babies, like instant.
You just go, I get it. I
put it on mute, and I was like, I don't actually need to unmute it.
No, you can watch it on a plane. It's literally, you don't need to speak English. It's foreigners love it.
It was funny because I was listening to I think I did C-SPAN. I didn't do it through like CNN. I did it through another channel, and they just had a live feed after Trump spoke and he walked away with Melania. And then it just was like a live feed camera on the lawn and all these people talking. And I was like, what the hell? And then it was auto-generated captions. It was so fascinating.
It was, they had the sound on?
The
They
sound was
mic'd
on.
the
People
people?
were like, "Oh yeah, let me give you my number. It's 755." I was like, no one was watching it after a while, but I was watching it. And I was like,
What was it on C-SPAN or something?
it was on some
A feed,
It was a
CNN
feed, and it was just
International
like
or
it was above where he was talking, so it was just on the camera of the lawn shot, and it was just like looked like a security cam. It was so funny. It was so funny how many people like Kellyanne Conway. There were so many people waiting to take photos with her, and you could see. It was just the whole thing was interesting.
That's what the correspondence dinner's like, and you're like, but you're supposed to be against each other, guys.
That's when you realize when we went to DC. That's when I realized
Wrestling, huh?
When we went to DC, that's when I realized they're all playing you all. They're all friends. They all know each other.
Yeah.
Not friends, but they know each other. They don't hate each other. They hate each other for you because you think Pelosi is a bad person. But all those people know each other.
Yeah.
All those people say hi to each other's wives and husbands.
I remember hearing Jake Tapper say that he knew what's the little worm who works for Trump, the bald one.
So many bald ones, so many worms.
The main worm who writes all this shit. But like he knew Steve Bannon. Basically like,
right.
Yeah, like I know them socially. I know I have his number.
Yeah,
I don't have his number.
You have to have each other. Everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
Everyone is like, it's just like a crowded room full of like a bunch of people who are
social
like tolerance. I don't know.
Priorities take precedence over scruples. Scruples.
Did you think though, because we were very critical of the DNC, so did you think theirs was more effective?
No, I think they made the same
mistake. They did a lot. To me, I'm like, I watched it. I thought of what you were saying. They talked about so much about race. They tried to make it that like he's not racist.
Yeah.
For so long.
And by the way,
like, he's racist.
Did you see they all like Rand Paul got harassed out on the way home?
So funny.
It's great.
He was like.
But the question is, and this is what I wanted to talk about with all this stuff is, is that going to affect the election? What? Is seeing white, whether it's like the city's on fire, because to me it's not true. I don't think anyone's actually afraid of their city being in trouble. Right. I was talking to somebody who lived like right off Fairfax here and was like, yeah, it's like a war zone, but for 6 hours.
Yeah.
It's not like we're on the Joe Biden's America. Your mom's as good as raped if you vote for Joe Biden. So so does Rand Paul getting heckled on the street scare moderate white people into voting for Republicans?
I could see how it would optically look a little bit scarier, but I think we're, as a nation, getting really numb to a lot of shit that would spook us before. The whole
thing that Trump doing the speech on the White House at the White House lawn is Trump did the thing where, you know, when there's like in a movie, like, what are you going to do? Shoot all of us?
It's like, yeah.
Trump basically did the thing of like, what are you going to do? Prosecute me for everything? Everything I do is illegal.
Right. That's all.
I exhausted you.
Right.
It's the only time I've seen the police like quit. The regulations, he wore out regulations. He stared down regulations and was like, no, not doing that one, not doing that one, not doing that one. To the point where regulations is like, we're not needed here. Yeah. We should just get out of here. There's somehow the rules just don't apply to him. But that's, watching it, I just thought, I wonder if that is gonna, I don't think it will. Bill Maher said he thinks it will. I kind of don't. The other thing that is that, did you see the Black Lives Matter people surrounding the white woman? To like put her fist up?
That was so funny.
Right, but it's, you know how
crazy,
absolutely backward it is. No, and how absolutely power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts, absolutely. We don't like getting bullied until it's our chance to bully. and then we're going to make you raise your fist. Meanwhile, the lady had been marching with them.
Listen, I go to these marches. They don't always go well. And this is just amongst...
What do you mean by they don't go well?
Well, it's a bunch of charged people who are very passionate, and there's no real leader, There is a leader of like each march and stuff, but it is not this kind of like, it's not like we're watching the march. We're part of it. So the participation, everybody can participate. So you can start a chant, you can start a this, you can da-da-dee, da-da-da. And you're with a bunch of people you don't fucking know.
Yeah.
And we're only really linked by one or a few commonalities. So sometimes some people will start a weird chant or like just, so I was at the one in Oakland that was at the port, and it was done by the Oakland Port Authority, who were like the black, like Oakland dudes that work for the Port Authority. And they started this march. So when it ended, they were like, everybody could come up, everybody had to write their name and come up and speak. And there was like a woman, I think, I don't know, I couldn't tell, who was shouting. And they were like, yo, man, don't shout, just write your name. And he was like, I'm not a fucking man. Did you just assume my gender? And it's like, brother. It's like, everyone's like, what are you doing? And it's like, I'm sorry. And then they were like, so much infighting. And we were, mind you, on the same side. So then they finally let him go on stage. And they're like, we're just saying, stop shouting out. Okay. And it's like, brother, you need to, and everyone's like, did you just call me brother? And he's like, I'm sorry. He's this old black man. He's like, I'm sorry for calling this sister a brother. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, this guy's head's exploding.
Yeah.
He's like an old guy. That's like,
but that's what, what they're asking moderate white people. That's the logic that they want moderate white people to accept. Did I ever tell you I was at Largo and there was a trans comedian on stage, from woman to man. And I was on the side of the stage with a female comic who I won't say, but she's great and hilarious and like a kind person. And she goes, we're watching the guy do stand up, and she goes, like, what do his genitals look like?
oh my God.
And I go, I don't know. And I said, and we're the liberals.
Right.
We're as kind of as woke as you can be. So imagine what our parents think. Our parents are like, what in the fuck? Like, it's terrifying.
Right.
And the thing that liberals don't do is accept increments. There's only one measurement.
Yeah, you got to be on the right side.
All or nothing.
No, you're on the wrong side now.
Yeah. You want to get on the right side? Then fuck you.
The problem is, let's say for that example in Oakland, it is, I feel like on the trans woman side, yo, I'm marching with you and we're really marching for like Black Lives Matter. But when it comes to trans people, there is this huge issue. And so I felt like they just felt unheard. And although I didn't think that was the right way to go about it, the whole thing just ended up being really unorganized. Mm-hmm. And it was just hard to stand there being like, yay, marching, and being like, stop calling him brother, man.
Yeah,
like,
it becomes about that. It just gets hijacked by another liberal issue.
But
that no one will know. The other thing about liberals is no liberal will ever say, not right now for my thing. There's no prior. Everything is number one. So if you're trans, if you're whatever the multiplicity of issues there are on the liberal side, they all are number one. So if at that point we're dealing with Black Lives Matter, no,
but there's hypocrisy because there's a lot of homophobia in the Black community, and a lot of people just don't understand trans. Yeah. A lot of people are like,
but I said the female comic said, what do his genitals look like? And you exhaled like it was troublesome. But meanwhile, how do we can't ask?
I just don't think, like, there's plenty, I know your need to.
I'm just asking.
Plenty of pussies look different. So why do you need to know what mine is? Do I have meat curtains? Is it all
they look different once. and then they're gone. If they deviate from the way I like them,
I'm just saying, do you need to know?
take
do I
those
need
labia and get out of my
It's not like when I see you and Will.
get
I'm
out of
like,
my limo.
Shut up. It's not like when I see you and Will, I'm like, ooh, what are their like pink dicks? Are they small?
Okay.
Are
What
they
if
long?
all we did was talk?
Will.
What if all we did was talk about our entire act and identity was based on what we did to our genitals? I still can't ask. I would expect you would have some questions.
Yeah, but then what importance are we putting on your understanding of an intimate thing of mine? Just who cares?
If
Just be
my
like, cool,
whole-
whatever.
It's like where you go, hey, do paraplegics have sex? And then they go, yeah, I can get a boner or whatever. It's like, ask me anything. And they go, yeah, I get it. And you're like, oh, fuck, I didn't know that.
But the world is very nice for the most part. Very nice to people who are, physically handicapped for we have ramps. No one's like, fuck that crippled guy. They're not very nice to trans people. So it ends up being a bit more like, oh, what's going on?
No, but again, that's what you ascribe to this woman saying, what do his genitals look like? She wasn't loading a gun. Hey, before I shoot this
but
motherfucker.
No, you know as well as I do that. It's the energy around it. It's like the times. Right now, we're still at a time where that is confusing. It's not like trans people are being supported.
But that's the problem is that is confusing and you can't ask.
I'm not saying you can't ask, but I'm just saying
she asked quietly to me thinking I might know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I think you can ask your friend, but also are you going to walk up to a black person and be like, a black woman be like, hey, your pussy lips purple? I heard they were purple. Like, no, you're not going to ask. Like, what does it matter? Like, you can.
No, but that's if her entire identity and most of the things she spoke about was based around a thing she had done to her vagina, I would have questions about it.
But it isn't only about a thing that this person had done to their vagina or penis. It's about their personality. It's like, I'm a gender. That goes with that, but you know what I mean?
It's silly that you're not allowed to ask
No,
about
I'm not saying you're not allowed to ask, but let's say when white people want to ask black people questions that they feel a little uncomfortable, they generally either write to our show or they don't exactly know how to navigate, even if they want to know, and there is this kind of like, don't ask that, or you shouldn't ask that.
But
even
I
still with
don't
black
agree.
people.
By the way, we did a segment on Chappelle's Show called Ask a Black Dude and Ask a Gay Dude. Like, we knew that there's something
There
to
is something
this.
to that, for sure.
And there is an element of, for any group, it's just the ascription of bad faith. Like, why do you have something? No, I have genitals. I know what one kind of genital looks like generally, and I know what another kind looks like generally. And I'm wondering what it looks like when you go from this to that.
The thing is, though, what I'm saying is that you two, not like being close with that trans woman, I think if I didn't know you two and you came up and asked me a question about my blackness or what's my hair like, that's weird. But if you had a friend that was a trans woman, I think you can ask them. And I think if we asked a bunch of trans people, I'm sure they get asked a lot of questions. I don't think people aren't.
But what I'm
asking
saying
them.
is, I talked about me and somebody backstage and her asking me that, and you exhaled like there was on some be careful shit. Not like I was going to get in trouble, but like there's something wrong with that. And what I'm saying is, that's the thing that liberals don't do, is admit that there is a thing, whether it's mysterious or new, or it's like when breast implants started, people were like, what does it feel like?
No, my exhale came from, if you don't know the person, like,
she didn't ask, but I know we didn't ask.
No, I understand. My exhale
and that's
came
the worry is, if you can't ask, I think it makes the person superior. Do you know what I mean? It makes me less apt to makes them weirdly like not less human, but just a different
We're
thing.
talking about someone's genitals. You
mean the center of our existence? Yeah, it's a huge thing.
I understand. But what we're talking about actually is having a conversation, being like, what does that person's genitals look like? If you don't know that person, I do think there's not, like, you're not entitled to ask everybody what you want.
I know, but I'm not saying we're rushing the state. There was no ill intent other than like, I wonder what it looks like. Like,
But you're fighting against like, why can't I ask?
no,
No
I'm
one's
not.
saying.
No,
No,
I'm
you
not.
just
I'm
said like
just
if
saying,
I can't.
No. What I
Okay.
said was, she said that to me, and I go, I don't know, and we're super woke liberals. Imagine what our parents think, and the parents are the ones that need
The questions.
that. No, that liberals need to pick off to vote for Biden, and which is the thing that I sent you. The AOC basically reiterated what I'd said, which is she had a different sort of take on it, which is she didn't think there was she said that the reason there wasn't more representation on the lineup at the convention was because they were trying to pick off moderate whites. And it's like, well, you fucking didn't do that enough. Like that you didn't
Right,
you didn't pick them off. Like it was still all race, gender.
But so was the RNC. RNC was
But
pandering.
yes, because they're afraid of it.
Yeah.
And they're using it as a fear thing, and liberals are using it as it's right. It's only right. Don't you want to be good?
Yeah.
Don't you want to be? And it's like, they might not care.
They might
the
not
Republican one, I'm not convinced Trump's not going to win. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm not super confident about it, but I just have a feeling that like there are a lot of people who are still flying them Trump flags. Like I don't think he's going
and they
down.
all have boats.
Okay, the weirdest thing. Oh, that's what I did
never
this
like
week.
boat people. I've been telling you, I never like the culture. I don't like
That is
water.
so-
I don't like boats. I don't like docks.
This is so funny that you say that. So that's another
I
thing
don't
I
like
did.
men's bare feet.
You don't like men's bodies. Another thing I did this week was I went paddleboarding in the OC. And let me tell you about it.
We're lucky that you're alive, that you're still here.
I made it out alive. And great social distance, cool, whatever. The amount, and this is like, there's a lot of waterfront properties along where you paddleboard. It was like Trump, Biden, Trump. These are all neighbors. Trump, Biden, Trump, Biden, Trump. It was just like a matrix, just like 10010.
Who was winning?
Trump.
Yeah.
But I also am not surprised if you vote Trump and you're rich. These are $10 million homes. So, of course, you're fucking for Trump.
Yeah, like I said, racism and money are a winning combination.
Right, but
for most of American history.
If Trump wasn't racist but was still for rich people, I don't think it'd be that.
They want all. I said this last week. Liberals say, "Hey, don't you want to do what's right?" And Republicans say, "Hey, you want fucking money?" And a lot of times they'll dress it up as some other shit. They'll dress it up as
a real American shit.
compassionate conservatism or compassionate conservatism or Reagan was all sort of stars and stripes and Bush was sort of somewhere in the middle. But George H. Walker.
Papa.
But Trump is just like, dog, you want fucking money? You trying to get this paper?
Listen,
And that's why, like, it's 13% with black people that in a poll on Trump. I'm like, yeah, unemployment was low. People are simple and they don't realize it was just a trajectory that was on its way down. But
no, the economy is cyclical. It's like Trump didn't come. Like people think it's like, guys.
Yeah, I don't especially credit Obama or Clinton or
Clinton,
I do
a bit more.
NAFTA. I mean, how? I don't. It's just when he got in there.
It's when he got in there, but I do think some of his tax policies did help get out of a deficit. I mean, because we weren't in a deficit.
Yes. That's a separate issue. It's the economy. It's so
like Bush, that was cyclical, but it really looked bad because it was like great economy and then boom, as soon as you take over.
Well, that you could make a case was political in that it's all deregulation, and that's because Republicans hate government and they go like, government doesn't work. We'll show you. Put us in charge and we'll prove it to you.
Right, exactly.
So like I still think that I'm not convinced that racism and money isn't a good combo.
Oh no, I think you're right.
And so that's why I was saying that's why liberals should have talked about COVID and jobs and judges. That's the thing that I was like, you were like, what should they be talking about? They fucking mention judges.
I don't think
at
they
all.
should mention judges.
Why not?
Because the people they're going to pick off are conservative.
Yeah, you may be right. You may be right, but I think Biden is kind of conservative in terms of,
He has conservative enough energy that it's like,
Yeah.
like don't concentrate. Right now, there's bigger fish to fry than who's going to be the fucking judge.
and that's, yeah. So what I would say to your point, which is, all right, take judges off. Just don't focus on fucking race and gender. My mom doesn't care.
The nice thing
She
is,
had her
right.
chance. She's 87. Turns out, if you're born in 1933 in the south side of Chicago, it's not a huge fucking issue.
It's never gonna
It's
be.
never gonna be. My mom said she remembered like a school being racist when she was a little girl and just being like, huh.
Right.
Like that seems anti-Christian, but she didn't march.
It's like that when people know that there are animals in really bad conditions and it feels bad. And it's like, fuck, that makes you feel really bad for eating meat. And then you go and you just
Is dinner ready
let's
yet?
do
Is
chicken
dinner-
wings.
Is dinner?
Let's go get beef.
Is that, what's that smell? Was
Like,
it dead animals?
It doesn't affect you.
No.
It's not in your world. So
Yes.
you're like,
So like
outside
it'd be
Edward.
like running on race and gender for the liberals would be like animals. Like I don't really
Right.
care. I don't care. Is it wrong? Yes, it's wrong. But if you're trying to get people in the middle, they don't fucking care about that.
I will say, I think people are fucking burning out on this shit. So I don't think it
agree.
was that.
I think especially women. But what I'm saying is there's a way to do it where it's not even so much as like, the women are gonna, because I don't believe that women think that a woman's gonna save the day, because especially white women, because they voted against Hillary. So I don't think that the gender of the person dictates an outcome for women.
No, I mean that, like, I don't know how impactful the DNC and the RNC were because we're so.
I don't think they had any impact.
I don't think.
Yeah.
You know what? The thing is, I think if they were held before shit started opening and before the riot, the protesting and stuff, and George Floyd, I actually think everybody would have watched because we had this weird, like, desert of not getting anything.
But there's multiple articles that say they don't make a difference.
I'm sure they don't, but I'm just saying right
in
now.
any conditions. 2016 didn't make a difference. They just don't make a
No,
difference.
I just mean before that, we really were we were in, how there's food deserts? We were in like
Yes, but
we were like in a
this is
news desert.
It's a
of
very
only
small
Corona.
window.
Yeah.
It was like 10 days.
But this is a weird year. Whereas like if something was here or if COVID hit now, like, I don't know. This is like strange.
Weirdest year I've ever been alive.
Obviously. But it's like there's some movies that came out right when lockdown happened that would have never gone to number one.
Yeah.
That, I just mean like there are these, it's just funny how things are. We still are so far away from the election. I feel like so much shit's going to happen.
I know. We've got a rest in power king. A legitimate rest in power king.
Yeah. Rest in power, King.
To Chadwick Boseman, 43, which would have mean I would have died 3 years ago. That's when I think about, that's the thing. The older you get, you just think about all the shit you've done since that age.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck.
It's like,
Fuck, man.
yeah. You think about yourself. Oddly enough.
Think about how long, it's obvious, but the older you get, the more you understand time and the value of it. And so the thing that I thought we could talk about is how would you be about sharing a health thing in public?
That's the thing. I actually think he went about it in a really admirable way. But I
Yeah.
think a lot of people would. I don't know. I'm really private, so I don't think I would. But I'm surprised. I think most people would have said something.
Yeah, I don't know. I truly don't know what most people.
You know a lot of celebrities. Do you think a lot of them would hide?
I think a lot of them have colon cancer. No, I think.
Do people hide a lot of? I mean, I'm sure they do. What
no.
What if someone doesn't want to hire you because you have cancer?
That's the. It's in
Even though
some
that's
ways
fucked up.
it's like homosexuality. Like
It like it kills the fantasy.
Doesn't help. It doesn't help when I don't want to watch Black Panther and go, it's fucking cancer.
I was like, he's gonna die soon.
Yeah, that's the whole. You just think about it the whole time. Whether occasionally you wouldn't, but if I knew he had, it was prostate or colon.
I think it was colon.
Yeah. If I knew the whole time, I would have been distracting. So it's
like when Patrick Swayze, he was on this series while he was doing cancer treatment.
and that's all you can think about.
Yeah, especially because they had this one scene and it was like a interrogation scene and there was
And his
just one
hair
light.
kept falling out.
Okay.
Literally, it wasn't even in the script. No one talked about it. He kept combing his hair, clumps. Go ahead.
Wow. No one's off limits,
wow.
guys.
No
He's really
one-
dedicated
no,
to this.
but Chadwick's
no one's
off
off
limits.
Chadwick's off limits. Come on. Too soon.
Swayze's,
But he, like, you could see how just,
gaunt.
like, gaunt and he just, it was distracting, like you said.
This is
and it
why
made
people
me really
can't
sad.
watch
And
this
then
podcast because I look like I have something wrong with me. When in
Neal's
effect,
an announcement to me.
you're fat. Again, you're fat. I'm in good shape. So that I think he did the right thing.
Yeah.
I had a discussion one time with a gay celebrity about how they believe that more actors should come out. And I was like,
Okay.
yeah. And I was like, no,
Fuck no.
they can't come out.
Bad idea.
Tom Cruise doesn't. I
Isn't
don't
it
want to
gay?
see his
Is he?
movies more if he comes out. Well, it's like the people that there are rumors about. Hugh Jackman is never going to benefit from just going like, you know what, guys? Or whoever else I'm outing. Whoever,
outing people.
I don't know who else I'm outing. Sean Hay. I'm kidding.
Well,
No, I know.
don't be he's
Sean. I mean,
open?
I think he's out. Yeah.
because he did I remember he did the Three Stooges movie and a guy was trying to bring up
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
like
I don't think he talks about it.
He
But
doesn't talk about
but
it.
he's right to not talk about it.
yeah.
You know, like of course. Why would you?
What's the guy that came out? He was Spock.
Zach Quinto. Yeah, it doesn't help. I don't. If I'm watching a scene where he's trying to make out with a girl, I'm like, he don't even like
hates
girls.
this.
He don't like.
The thing is, it's so unfair. We want to know everything about a celebrity on TV, let's say. We want to know everything, but we don't. And then it's like, ooh. we don't
You're
know
better off
that much.
not knowing anything.
That's
Honestly, you're better off. I think the people that do it right, Frank Ocean, total mystery.
But that's a musician's a little different because you can still make. I don't care if I like the song. I like the song.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's TV or film, it's like if you watched a play and the playbill, it was like gay.
Yeah.
Like why? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
I'm also assuming a lot of these guys are gay when I'm watching like a Broadway play.
Hello.
Hello. But it doesn't take away anything. So it's just funny how we get so like worked up when it's a TV actor. It's like, you watch plays?
Well, it just
Who
doesn't
cares?
help to know.
But I don't get the psychology of why, if someone's gay, cancer, I get more. Gay, like, gives a fuck. It's fake, you idiot. They're not
Right,
real
but
doctors.
But they don't believe that. They don't believe that. It's real.
It's true. I watched The Good Doctor, which everyone makes fun of me about. And I'm like, is he really autistic? Maybe he's a little.
The kid who plays?
He plays the same guy who plays like Norman Bates.
Oh, got it.
He goes, he's
The show is about him being autistic?
an autistic doctor.
The show is every week he gets a vaccine, and then the second half of the show he's autistic. I'm an anti-vaxxer, guys, and I want you to know. No, but so rest in power, Kang.
Rest in power.
he seemed like a nice dude, and it's truly sad.
It's really sad.
Fucking,
That like hurt.
It was like I literally thought like, man, fucking God better fucking take it easy on black. Like black people are gonna swing on God. If God
on
doesn't,
site, God.
it's on site. It's about to be on site. It's
God.
about to be on site. God. Anything happens to Stevie Wonder or Beyonce, it's on site. Okay.
Adele is all
Adele,
stupid.
who I now refer to as Adele after Rachel Dolezal. That's some Adele shit right there. She really looks. She has Dolezal eyes. In this,
leave Adele alone. She could do that. If she
I like
wants.
Adele, but that's the thing is, because you like her music, you're like, ah.
That's not it. I just don't think. I think that she's clicked into the black culture in UK is different. And we want to go talk about it like from our vantage point, but black culture in the UK is way more like Caribbean, African influences that are more prevalent, you know? And so she's so clicked in that I'm like,
I'm gonna screw face you. Keep talking.
okay, screw face, chopped and screwed face. And I just think we can't I feel like if black people in the UK don't understand why, I've seen some conversations where they're like, I don't understand chicken and watermelon. Like, I don't get the references, or I don't get these personal cultural references here. And I get it. I get why you don't get it. You know, it's a weird thing. I just feel like we can't always comment just because it's a black thing. Like, I don't fucking know what she does for the black community.
Appropriation's appropriation.
No, that's true. And I saw those knots. I was like, damn, Adele. Really?
Yeah, well, boy, you really
damn.
Folded on that.
Well, no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm like, this is the word, Neal,
Yeah.
of God. Like the braids, yeah. Like
The feathers, the plumage.
no, the feathers, it's just a carnival. Haven't you been? Oh, well, you
No, I'm with you, but I don't think that white British people dress like that because of Caribbean culture. I don't think that it's accepted. White, she does. I'm saying black British people obviously do. Black people with Caribbean roots obviously do.
Yeah.
Or if you're black, if you're African, you want to dress like that, fucking knock yourself out. And that is my edict. But her, I don't know. I don't think that our lack of understanding of British culture can prevent us from going like, that's a foul.
No, I think we can. I don't think we should be the authority on if it's a foul. That's all.
I don't think that we're an authority, but I always thought
I don't think we
record,
can cancel her.
She's not canceled.
Not canceled.
I don't give a shit.
But
It's a foul. I think that's a foul. I don't think it's a flagrant
foul?
I don't think she's getting ejected. I think Caribbean people are shooting a technical and they get the ball.
But what if Caribbean people in the UK are like, she fine, leave her be, bomba clads.
I think, first of all, there's what amount of Caribbean people can exonerate her? That's the thing is,
you're making it weird now.
No, but I'm saying
measure
no.
7
It's a foul.
cc's.
It's a foul. Well, that's what I'm saying. If the Caribbean people, which ones?
Okay, if something happened here and black people were
If
outraged,
Garen and fucking what's his name? Spectrum. What's the kid's name? The rapper.
who?
Skepta.
Yeah.
Spectrum.
Spectrum.
My mom.
Okay. So if somebody appropriated something, I mean, it's not a good example because like she's just gonna get dragged.
Foul's
here.
a foul. No, it's a foul. Straight up. Raise your hand, Adele. You fouled. It's flagrant. It's a flagrant one. Shout out to fucking Andrew Schultz, the Flagrant 2 podcast. It's a flagrant one. You're not kicked out, but one more and you're getting a flagrant 2 and you got to go. I don't know what that means either, but.
The braids are kind of, that's the only thing I'm like, God, did you need to do the Bantu braids?
No, it's straight up cultural appropriation. Just straight up, open and shut.
Knots were just like,
an amazing artist. Adele, a fucking great singer.
right.
From what I understand, a decent lady. Flagrant one.
Little too familiar.
Yeah, it's a flagrant one. For me, I'm not any sort of, but I'm just saying on this podcast, it's a flagrant one.
Okay.
And I've been calling Adele is all. Um,
Sounds like a medicine.
well, let's do some emails.
LSTNER. LSTNER.
You got mail.
Oh, that's nice.
What's up, Neal and Banks? LSTNER. I really appreciate how you guys discuss mental health, especially bipolar disorder, because it gets left out of the conversation a lot of the time. My heart goes out to people living with severe bipolar who have super dramatic highs and lows, but there are also tons of us who have milder forms and just need the right combination of meds to live a normal, healthy life. I'm in my 30s. I was diagnosed bipolar when I was 18, and thanks to therapy and medication, my mood is as stable as the average person. I'm not stuck in catatonia, and most people wouldn't guess I'm bipolar as long as they don't look in my medicine cabinet. A real mood booster for me was when Neal sent me a topless photo for calling him a saloon hooker on Instagram. I also gained a lot of clout at work when I showed everybody that I got a nude pic from a celebrity.
Wasn't
So
nude.
thanks again, Neal.
I guess it
Love
was
you guys.
nude. I mean, it's a topless.
You sending news, Neal?
I wanted her to see my dick. I wanted her bipolar eyes to see my
Bipolar
depressive
eyes?
dick. Yeah, I was reminded of something the philosopher Dave Chappelle said once, which was everything's funny until it happens to you.
Yeah.
So everyone's like everything, and then no, it's off limits now. I'm like, no. So I don't even when she said bipolar gets left out of the conversation, I think people don't like talking about mental health. Period. I think it all gets left out of the conversation, and I think that's one of them. People don't like people aren't dying to talk about depression.
No.
Or borderline or any of them. So I'm happy to talk about it because I don't think it's a big deal. But, you know, if I can help one bipolar person at a time. Apparently, what I heard, she left it. She will cut it out. But apparently, when she saw my topless, she had a manic episode and ended up in the street like Martin Lawrence
highs
in
or
the
the
90s.
lows?
She had a manic episode and was out of her mind. She thought the FBI's after her. And she shot out. She punched a lot of windows out in stores, and that happens for some women when they see a powerful nude. But yeah, by the way, it was mostly women who wanted it. And,
what guy wants that?
Well,
What fucking
it
guy
was all
wants
for guys
that?
anyway. I don't want to be.
Why was it for guys when you don't even like looking at guys'
Because
bodies?
because they're the ones who go fucking AIDS or meth or is Neal all right? I'm seriously wondering.
Just
No.
post it, Neal.
No.
Oh my god.
Why would I?
Ew.
Because then I'm
Chill out.
Dalia and Kumail. I don't want to be a topless.
You don't have to flex like Camille. That was weird.
But I don't think any comedian should ever post I'm walking the walk because this is why I didn't want AOC doing makeup videos. It's not what that's not what I'm
But
here
you
for.
don't mind if I DM'd AOC and then she privately sent me a makeup
A
tutorial.
zillion times. Please. I dare you.
Okay.
What were you going to say about nudes?
I don't remember.
It was so recently. This is staggering. It was like 7 minutes ago.
That's staggering. You forget shit all the time. Yeah. What?
I'm going to cancel this podcast. And
Wait, what do you mean? What was I?
You just said, I'll bring it up when we talk about it.
Oh yeah. So you know I made a joke of like, yeah, and tell me I look
Oh,
dumb,
yeah.
and then
That
and
you were
so
going to send
all
nudes
of a sudden,
to people?
like after the audio dropped, I got all these really insulting DMs and I was so offended.
Oh, why people joking like you
It's
don't
like,
look
you're
good?
ugly.
Yeah.
Gross. And I was like, that's so
Before
fucked
you realized
up.
what they were doing, or it still hurt?
But it was so many. I was like, this is weird. Something's off. The
Why would they possibly-
Brantford's curve. And so I blocked two of them. Then I had to go remember their names and unblock them.
That's so
like,
funny.
I'm so sorry.
I don't think I've ever. Someone requested an unblock once, and I like went through and was like, "All right, you can unblock." But I mostly, if
No, I
someone
just
goes,
felt stupid. Obviously, it was what I asked them to do, and I blocked them. And they were probably like, "What?"
"Hey, I thought we were having fun." No, it's not a game, bro.
No, don't tell me I'm ugly.
I didn't like your tone.
Don't you fucking tell me that.
Goodbye. You've got mail.
Hey, Neal and Bianca. Love the pod and all the rest. Anyways, not out of any real sense of moral indignation or anything, but I thought I'd take a crack at this Megan Thee Stallion joke controversy.
No.
So if it's okay to make fun of people getting shot, it should be okay to make fun of people getting robbed, but you had nothing on Ellen.
She got robbed?
Yeah. That's why I didn't. It's just like, what do you...
I did.
Yeah, she got robbed. Fucking people get robbed all the time. If you say there's no jokes there, here's two. Okay? This guy wanted it. His name
now
is...
do the delivery good.
Mike. I can't do... There's no way to deliver these jokes well.
I'm saying try.
Because they don't even make... So this guy wanted us to read jokes on the air. And his name is Mike from Minnesota.
Okay.
Mike, here it goes. This is your dream come true. These are the jokes that Mike from Minnesota had on Ellen. If there's... Okay. Quote, the joke is starting now. There's got to be an easier way to get androgynous pullover sweaters.
What?
That and then robbing.
Oh, okay.
And this one is so bad. I'm afraid they're going to take us
really
out
bad.
of Apple Podcast. I'm afraid that they're going to cancel. I'm afraid YouTube's going to have to close.
Can I read this one?
Yes.
Okay. Joke starting now. No, it's a joke. Isn't that a carjacking? Because Porsche sounds like Porsche. That is so painfully unfunny.
God,
Isn't
Mike.
that a carjacking? Because Porsche sounds like Porsche. Dude, terrible, bad, stop.
This is, I told the
so
thing that
fucking terrible.
Seinfeld, when Seinfeld was on, everyone would go like, you guys, I wrote a spec, you should, and they were gonna, I heard the joke that from a writer that they were just gonna take someone's spec and film it without any rewrites just to show someone like, we're not even in the same category.
Right.
Shush it. Mike from Minnesota, fucking shush it.
Fail, Mike.
Shushy, lushy, mushy, tushy, shush it. How about that, Mike from Minnesota?
Honestly,
Mike, to quote, to paraphrase Billy Madison, we're all less funny for having heard those jokes. That's Jim Downey said that in the SNL writers' room, and then they reappropriated it in Billy Madison in the quiz portion.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's based on somebody pitched something, and Downey said we're all less funny for having heard that. It's one of the greatest burns of all time.
Funny.
Jim Downey, one of the Hall of Fame sketch writers. Anyhow, next letter.
Goodbye.
Mike, don't ever write again.
Mike,
you're on punishment, Mike. I don't know what that means.
Bad.
But you're on punishment. That's a flagrant
Bad
2
baby.
for unfunniness.
You've got mail.
Hi, Neal and Bianca and Will. RST and LAR.
Oh, that's nice.
I've been listening since week 1 and seriously look forward to the new episodes every Tuesday. I'm genuinely grateful for your insights and the laughs you provide for so many of us listeners,
Oh, that's nice.
especially while living alone in quarantine. Just wanted to share a personal anecdote. I'm a cookbook author, and 2 weeks ago, my newest, The One Pot Casserole Cookbook, came out, despite my publisher and marketing team adamantly discouraging it. Leading up to and since the book's release, I've been referring to myself as the One Pot Thought every chance I get. That almost feels like Mike could have written it. Mike from Minnesota.
Yeah, that might be
it's not that bad.
It's better than Mike.
It's better than Mike, for sure. So all this to say, get me my pots. We'll start the song now. And the accompanying songs have completely rocked my world. A long-term feeler, dream come true, and that's nice. Thank you. I'll bake and ship you guys vegan cookies any day.
Oh, Sarah. I actually want to see. Okay.
Keep going.
You guys, I actually use my Instapot a lot, and I might buy her cookbook.
Sounds like you're a one pot thought
I might
too.
be a one pot Insta thought.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good. That actually sounds good.
You got a thoughty mouth over there.
It's a thoughty today.
Sarah Mellis is the website. SARAMMELLIS. ELLAS.com. Sarah Mellis.
Kill.
P.S. When Neal said guys want sex and girls want attention and relationships shouldn't be work, they should be about maintaining like a pool. Goddamn.
Yes.
I've thought about those statements almost every day since. Could not agree more. And those who think neither are truly in denial.
Goodbye. You've got mail.
Hi, Neal and Bianca. I just wanted to add to Bianca's point about European intellectual defensive racism. I've just come to Sweden for work, and the conversations about race are super stupid. Hey, we'll bring this up because she has pictures. The other day, I was at a work event telling a group of POC how white Swedes are so white they started checking in on me, a Mongolian Swede, during the George Floyd protests. They didn't believe me, but then a white guy joins our table and asks me if I'm Amy Say, a Gambian Swedish woman. This is a little too specific.
Right.
And then this man has worked at the same place as her for years.
Wow.
Now, in his defense, in different departments. Again, a little too specific. While everyone else starts dispersing to discreetly laugh at him, I stay and politely answer questions about Genghis Khan, katanas, kimchi, and other random Asian things he's into for another 2 to 3 minutes because I'm super non-confrontational. But I hope to be as over it as Bianca is one day. Hear that? She hopes to be as over it as you are one day.
Yay.
Love the podcast. Now you see the two women, and this woman is she's a Mongolian Swede, and somebody else is a Gambian Swede.
So the dum-dum that sat and asked her questions about Genghis Khan and kimchi, Neal is the same thing you wanted to ask the trans woman.
Yes,
same sort of question.
I think you should be able to ask. I mean, again, I wouldn't.
I know you wouldn't bet.
If somebody converted, if somebody's entire act was about, I used to be white, now I'm Asian, I would have some questions about Asianness, especially if the entire culture was built around it. Now, which one of those women, I don't know who's who, but that's not even close.
No, the top one's Gambian, the bottom one's Mongolian.
Of course, but
You said you don't know who's who.
No. I don't know who's who in terms of.
The top one's Amy Say.
Amy Say is
The top one.
no, they didn't. That's what I'm saying. It's confusing. They didn't believe me, but then a white guy joins our table and asks us if I'm Amy Say, a Gambian Swedish woman.
Yeah, that's
So,
her.
The black woman,
The black woman's Amy Say.
right? And the bottom woman
Is the right?
say Amy.
What do you mean I'm wrong? I'm right.
No, but I don't understand. But the woman on the bottom is the one who stayed around for the question.
The woman at the bottom is the woman the whole time. Someone came, sat next to her and said, "Are you Amy Say?" A totally different woman that wasn't at the table. And it's like, no, I'm not Amy Say. I'm Mongolian Swedish.
I'm Say Amy. The opposite of Amy Say.
So say Amy.
Right, but then she stick around to answer questions about kimchi. The lady on the bottom did.
Yeah.
But
Just
why
confusing.
did he ask? Why was he asking a Gambian woman about kimchi?
We didn't say, "Are you the Gambian Swedish woman Amy Say?" He just said, "Oh, are you Amy Say? Like, are you the girl?"
My point is, this guy might be like autistic or something, because
Wow.
to look at the woman on top and go,
Dude.
I'm going to ask her about kimchi and katanas,
Don't disparage the good doctor.
unless she's like the Swedish version of Ghost Dog.
I love Ghost Dog.
I know you did. That's why I put it out there.
I love
She's the Swedish Ghost Dog in whatever company this is, and there's no reason to ask that woman about the Ghost Dog, about kimchi, katanas, or other random Asian things.
Goodbye. You've got mail.
Hi, Neal and Bianca. Hi, Phil and Bianca.
Hi.
Love the podcast. After Nick Cannon's anti-Semitic remarks, I spent some time going down internet rabbit holes on Louis Farrakhan. While I respect Farrakhan's unshakable commitment to black people, he definitely seems to hold some very anti-Semitic views. Definitely. I think that's unquestionable. My question is this. How do you feel about Jay Electronica and by association, Jay-Z? Jay Electronica reps Nation of Islam hard and says some anti-Semitic things on a written testimony, e.g., for example, quote, Satan struck Palestine with yet another mortar. That doesn't seem that anti-Semitic, but whatever. Jay Elec is an extremely talented rapper, and the album received great reviews, and it is some definite anti-Semitic overtones. I enjoy the album, but upon learning more about Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, I feel more and more guilty for listening to it. Can noxious views ruin the aesthetic achievement of an album? In spite of his talent, should Jay Elec be canceled? And what responsibility does Jay-Z have, given that he appears on 8 of the 10 tracks? Is he guilty for participating in and therefore tacitly condoning the creation of anti-Semitic work of art? And did music critics generally get it wrong by seemingly giving Electronica for anti-Semitic views in light of the historical and ongoing oppression of black people? Curious to hear, what do you think?
Okay. Thank you for listening, but some of this is super annoying to read. Should Jay-Z... I know you're just posing the question, but this sort of shit's the problem I have.
Here's what I want to say to letters like this. Dog, you could have written this to a congressperson.
No, but did the music critics seemingly give him a pat? This is so
It's
reaching.
all cultural criticism. And what part why would you want to emulate a person who talks like this? And one must also hold up. Do you long to read things in a academic, esoteric way? That's I can't wait to talk about shit like that. It's fucking...
I don't want to shit on them. I just think they're giving us, hey, these are things maybe we can discuss, but there's a lot of...
I'm so
much
tired of
presumption.
this.
Yeah.
I can't even... I reached a new plateau with the Megan Thee Stallion shit where it's just dude, enough with it's so dumb that here's my final Megan Thee Stallion point. Would I have made fun of any black woman getting shot in the foot? Not in a million years. Because there's nothing funny about it. If you're named after a horse, I'm going to do a hoof joke. I'm going to do a animal hospital joke. I'm going to do those jokes. Case closed. You're still mad about it, and you always will.
I'm not mad.
I'm You're tired of it. If you
feel
watch back the reading of it last week, you're
first of all, because
glaring at me.
No, that's your interpretation.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I'm just sitting there trying to really... I love how glaring is... Sometimes you're the woman you don't want to date. I'm listening to you intently.
I hope so.
I'm listening to
I
you
think we all
intently.
want to be the woman.
She was glaring at me opposite. No, I was listening. I listened. I did something wrong. No, I literally listened to you and
Can
tried
I interrupt
to fully
you,
understand.
bitch? I'm kidding.
No, I listened and I...
Well, do you want to talk about a fucking perfect length, underused? Go ahead.
Okay, just don't play it again. No, the only thing I just was I felt like we talked about it, but I felt something hit you in a more personal way with that guy's letter, and so you didn't let it go more.
It's just so why would you want to? It's the moral version of pocket watching, meaning how much money. It's the
shakedown.
Yeah, it's why are you doing, the guy who just wrote this Jay Electronica record? Throw away your fucking Dr. Dre. It Ain't No Fun If the Homies Can't Have None is one of the grossest songs ever committed to analog tape and then, of course, transferred to digital. There's so many awful notions in almost all music. So
I just feel we could do this, what he did, on everybody.
Anything.
We can do it on,
yes.
There's plenty of Jewish people we could do it on. There's plenty of Christians we can do it on. We can do it on right, left, black, white, da-da-da. I was listening.
Yeah, Seth Rogen said last week that he was lied to as a Jew about Israel.
And they never told them that Palestinians were already living there.
Yes, so are we canceling Superbad?
And then he received backlash from the Jewish community. Not a lot, I don't think. But some people
this guy is should we go back?
I just think it's dude, no one's living some squeaky clean anything. So I don't know. I mean, you want to go down the road, fine, but everybody.
I don't want to go down the road. What I'm saying is, dog, this guy's got a decent brain. you're throwing it away on.
We don't
You're
know if he's
throwing it away on.
We don't know if he's throwing it.
On he's throwing it away. This kid. This kid could do something of value, and he's like, I was listening to a J Electronica. This is a separate notion, but if you told me J Electronica never released that album, it doesn't. That's how little impact you can have.
I was like, J Electronica's album, someone's giving, like, what are we talking about?
The window used to be 72 hours of relevance.
Yeah.
And now it's down to like 8. Somebody pointed out, like, Billie Eilish released a song last week, and people were like, amazing. And
like,
then they
put
don't
it
care.
on TikTok. I
Gone.
don't fucking know.
Great. Gone.
If it doesn't have a dance, it doesn't stick around.
Yeah. It's basically cultural skeet shooting. Where it's
Skeet,
just like
skeet?
Billie Eilish. And then fucking Beyonce's remix with Meg Thee Stallion. And then here comes fucking Fiona Apple. I
Right.
remember when Fiona Apple's record came out, I don't know, 8 weeks ago, a woman wrote, I wonder if men are going to be okay after this Fiona Apple record. And I wanted to write to be like, lady, you're so far up your own ass. You don't understand that albums by 40-year-old women don't really have the impact they used to. They do to you because she's your age. But if you're not a 25-year-old, like J Electronica, 40-year-old rapper, what?
The funny thing is when you made the Dr. Dre comparison, I was listening to that next song, Too Close, and it's like, I wonder if she could tell him hard right now. And then there's all this. I was like, this is the worst.
It's illegal.
It's literally like, girl, I'm dancing. I know you're making it hard for me. She's like, I can feel a bump coming through on you. I'm like, this is complete sexual harassment and assault right like now. But at the time, we were all dancing.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Fucking
This
grind
guy
your dick
wasn't.
in my
This
butt.
guy had his ear to the speaker. I wonder if maybe we shouldn't take a look at whoever the fuck is in next. Because I don't know who the fuck is in next. Was Cisco in next?
No, he was
Cisco
in
was
Drew
in
Hill,
Drew Hill,
dude.
that's right.
You know what? We gonna tell him?
Now Cisco. Now was Spectrum? Was Spectrum in next?
We just need to fucking lax. Let it go.
Yeah.
Not everything
Enjoy
is,
the music, bro. Because you're not. It's also don't think about your phone because it was not, or your sneakers, or most of your clothes, or your pots and pans, or your car, or it's all not. Everything is morally dubious at best. At best, the best you can hope for is like,
right.
That's peak.
Peak.
Here, this is all you.
Thanks.
Will, there's a song.
Oh,
yeah.
of course.
There's
it's
a
all
song that I play the horny one. Quiet it down. Fade it down. Bianca.
me. Will is
3,
so your son.
2, 1. Cue Bianca's reading. Bianca, I'm talking to you.
Oh, me.
Yes. Let's do it again. On 3, 2.
Hey, Neal and Bianca. I love oral pleasure, giving and receiving. My boyfriend loves receiving and refuses to give. We've been together 2 years and he's never done it. We've talked about it, about what we enjoy sexually, and I've made it very clear to him going down on me is expected just as much as me going down on him. I feel deprived. From a lady and a gent's perspective, how do you feel about giving and receiving oral sex in a relationship? And would it be a deal breaker if your partner wouldn't return the favor? With the best, 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 with the best.
Yeah, you get the scram.
Dude,
2 years.
What a lonely pussy.
Huh.
What a lonely ass pussy.
Bone dry. Bone dry.
Fuck fast. A bone dry. Also, every guy I've ever dated that was a little squirmish, they always came around.
Wow.
Always came around.
How?
Also, I guess technically sexual assault. Just like, I don't know, just when they're sleeping, put your pussy on their face.
Fuck.
Wait. It's like, funny. With the best, with the best, with the best, with the best, with the best.
Funny sexual assault. Again, sir, you just proved our point. Even Bianca, is she woke about everything? Not when it comes to getting her pussy eaten.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like I was the only one doing that. Anyways, it was a safe space.
You were the only one awake. He was asleep. You put her pussy on your face.
Not asleep, but dozing.
His resting his eyes. Fantastic. And by the way, I think that's what
Goodbye.
Jaguar Wright was mad at Common about.
You've got
Anyhow,
mail.
howdy, Bianca and Neal. Neal, I'm a big fan of your thoughts and analysis on numerous topics, but I'm still surprised by your lack of support for soup. I recently switched to a plant-based eating, and experimenting with soups opened a lot of doors for me in the kitchen. Just wanted to speak up for the soup lovers. All right, that's a waste of time. Bianca, you're awesome. Your insight into nuanced topics such as oral sex is much needed and valued. That being said, I would skip the wedding this year.
So, I'm still waiting for the European updates. If there's a way, I might go. I gotta get the fuck out of here, Neal. Don't you just feel stifled a little?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go to fucking Austria.
Well, you're not invited. Next question.
I got bad news for you. I got news for you. They heard the podcast. I'm in, you're out.
No.
I'm also here to get your perspective on dating with a chronic disease. In my case, it's Crohn's. It's Crohn's.
Did you say it like that?
In my case, it truly felt like Wheel of Fortune. In my case, it's Crohn's. And the fucking the Crohn curtain opens. My days are filled with loose and unpredictable bowel movements.
Damn.
Am I destined for loneliness and or weirdos only? How soon should I don't want to bring it up right away, but I also feel weird holding it back. This guy, now that I want to shit on the guy from Minnesota, was it Mark? Mike from Minnesota got into this guy's email too. And he wrote the line, am I destined for loneliness and weirdos only? How soon should I spill the beans or toot the beans? Mark from Minnesota.
Blame all your bad jokes on
It's owes
Mark.
$1. What bad jokes? You bitch, I'll kill you.
Okay.
Bitch, I'll sit on your face.
Please do.
How would Neal deal? How would Bianca fucks with that? LSTNR. This is Midwest Matt, not to be confused with Minnesota Mike. And by the way, if they're
Mike.
If they're not the same person.
I know. This almost seems like the same person. It's like, and then
I have another poop joke. I'm going to double up.
Kansas Kimberly. We're on to you.
I don't know enough about Crohn's disease. I don't think you have to.
No. I had a friend with very bad Crohn's disease.
Okay.
So it's basically, it depends on what stage you're in, but it's at the stage my friend was in. It's just like a disease of the gastric system, right? So at some point, his body just stopped recognizing his colon and anus like were part of his body. So they stopped sending it blood, started attacking it. So it ended up being like, this is kind of gross, but rotting meat inside of him. So
what's the gross part?
Okay.
I love that. What's
Okay, so they had to take out no parapatap. So they had to take out his anus, colon, and just use his whatever the second one is, large intestine, small intestine. And
apparently, by the way, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion are making a new song about this, taking out someone's anus and colon. Go ahead.
So they take it out and they fix, a makeshift one with his intestines.
Unrecognizable anus and colon is the name of the song.
What's the acronym?
AOC. No.
Unrecognizable.
UOC. UAOC.
No, it's not good.
Unrecognizable anus and colon.
UAC.
It's a bad Scrabble.
Uak.
Yeah, it's
Uak.
a bad Scrabble. It's a redraw.
So that made him have to run to bathrooms. Couldn't have certain things would just, when I tell you like
He'd eat it and it would come out.
Not eat it, come out, but like, let's say, right, you ate something.
Do a thing like David Blaine where he would start eating a slice of pizza and the crust would be, and then the end of the pizza would come out his ass. And he could do this thing.
Fucked up.
He could do this where he could pull it. He could pull in the mouth and it would come out.
So imagine if right now, all of a sudden, whatever you ate a half hour ago or something just was like, oh, I got to shit. And then all you have to do is go down the stairs to your bathroom. And when you got there, this shit was already filled in your pants. Just poop everywhere. It's poop life.
Yeah.
It's a real poopy life.
Yeah, there are so many things like that just couple million people have it. It's basically bad luck, migraines. Sorry, you got to
cluster
lay
headaches,
down for 9 hours. Whitney used to have to go to the hospital. Whitney Cummings used to get such bad migraines, she had to go sit in the hospital and get a drip. Like, it's fucking bad, and it's just one of them, like, oh.
Yeah.
There's truly nothing we can do.
So Crohn's, there's some things you can do. There's some, like his got basically kickstarted by that like really bad.
By the internet on Kickstarter?
That acne medicine, Accutane.
Really?
So Accutane changes your DNA.
Accutane.
It changes your DNA. So if you look at all the side effects, it can jolt out things in your genetics. So they don't think if he took Accutane, his Crohn's would have been activated. That's was crazy. He took Accutane and then Crohn's developed, and it's a side effect. It can like go and poke out diseases that like lie dormant.
Accutane, my experience was I wasn't an entitled asshole before.
Wow.
And then I took Accutane.
Thanks, Accutane.
And it shook it out. And you're welcome, America.
So, okay, if you were dating a girl that had really loose bowels, couldn't always eat a lot, and kind of maybe had to be close to a bathroom, and maybe there was, just to be perfectly honest, when I go to my friend's house, just maybe like some poop places, but not a lot, like speckles of brown.
Like all in the bathroom?
Only in the bathroom.
Okay.
And this maybe, I'm sorry, Crohn's people, if I'm doing it like not doing well, but he had a very bad case of it.
Crohn's people, I like it.
Crohn's people, but but she was great. How much would the stool be like, couldn't really go on long flights?
I'd like to believe it wouldn't, but I saw somebody at a show last night and they said that they moved in with their girlfriend. And he goes, yeah, COVID made us, we were like together for a couple months, and then COVID just basically just moved in. And I was like, would you have moved in with COVID? He's like, no, we probably would have broken up if not for COVID. And I was like, yeah, it's like dating somebody who's terminally ill. You can't break up with her till the funeral.
Right.
You can't, if someone's terminally ill, you can't be like,
right,
8 months. It's too long for me. Goodbye. You just got to ride it out. Got to ride it out. So with Crohn's, I like to
wait till she dies?
Yeah, you can. No, I don't know. It would be. I don't know. I don't know if someone had Crohn's. If I, how much did she shit on the first couple days? Honestly, I would never say.
If someone shit your bed, would you be pissed?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Nice meeting you. Next letter. Hey, Bankertons and Nealathy. It's Tatiana and Christoph. I don't know who that is. RST and LE on some OG shit. We talk about you like our actual friends. It is wild. We are you, just thicker. Neal would say fatter, and he'd be right. And blacker in terms of melanin, not stereotypical racial characteristics. We're on your team, Binky.
Thank you. And
you're wrong. We wanted to get your most up-to-date thoughts on dating in the era of COVID. I can't believe you wanted me to stay with a woman who shat in my bed. First of all, that's a Tufts and Needle mattress up there.
I know, my Tufts and Needle.
A Cliff Notes version of our dynamic. We are the best friends who, we're the best of friends who, as a Jamaican, Puerto Rican lady and a black man raised in a white community, we tend to talk about race and dating almost exclusively, like you guys.
Yay.
Unlike you, however, we have no problems hanging and banging and never letting it affect our friendship or working relationship, as we are roadies who live the Rolling Stone lifestyle. I think that's literal. I think
cool.
They literally are roadies. By the way, the Rolling Stone lifestyle is now punishable by law. While I don't know if you've heard that next song, but it's not great. While we are very good with the stay-at-home orders portions of the quarantine for 5+ months, we are now thirsting for some sexual activities. We've individually had success recently on Tinder with some people. We try to vet as best we can, ask them questions on how safe they've been keeping, etc. But some of our friends still think we should remain at home, left to sexually fend for ourselves. Those friends are in committed relationships and have far more access to sex than we are. But when you're hungry, you got to eat, right? That's what Bianca said when it came to oral sex. What do you think? But she wasn't talking about her. She was talking about her boyfriend. When I'm hungry, you got to eat. What do you think of dating, hooking up with new partners in these times? Do you think it's best to live out the rest of 2020 thirsty and celibate? Or do you think thoroughly vetting a new sexual partner is okay if you're being as safe as possible during this time? Sorry, these are hard to read, but what's Babraham Benkin thinking? And what's Neal-orthon, Feel-orthon?
Okay, in my defense, it was very accepted. It was very
This is
accepted.
back in the 90s. You could do that.
No, it was not.
Next was on the charts.
It was like
It
a
wasn't
joke.
no fun if the homies can't
It
have
wasn't
them.
like it wasn't
No.
serious. There wasn't like a light behind me and I was a silhouette and I just like.
It's not your place to say what it was. I'm kidding. Yeah, I believe you.
Okay, that's all that matters.
Where are you on this?
I can't do that shit. I can't fuck someone and like casually and be their friend and keep fuck. I just haven't ever done that.
So COVID, it's amazing how
None of
little we
your
talk about this.
business.
We never talk about this.
I can tug it off, but I don't know.
Okay, great.
But no, I can't be someone's homie and fuck them. And then hang out like best friends.
That's not what she's asking. She's asking, what are you doing during COVID? What's your new dick policy?
It's weird because
It is weird. It sounds weird already. Go ahead.
no, it's weird because like I don't know. I'm actually not that excited. Do you know what I mean? About like usually when you're like just single and stuff, it's fine. You're dating, blah, blah, blah. It feels normal, but you have other things going on. So now that we all have like a little bit less going on, I don't know. You think, let's fill it in with companionship, but it's like, I don't know. It's like
the vitality of pre-COVID of just dating. And like, I'm talking to this person. And whereas this, it's a bit like,
I don't know. Do I like to know you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
What about you?
I feel the same. It's like kind of listless, where you'll message somebody and then you're like, where am I going with this?
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Don't cry.
You've got mail.
Hey guys, whoa.
Wow.
Got away. Wow, it got away from me. Medium listeners, I'm sorry.
Medium
You leaders
fine.
are better podcast than that, but not video. That's gonna get clipped. Hey guys, medium time listener. I actually find myself both liking and disliking the guys that you guys say on here, which is awfully damn refreshing. Thanks for that. Yeah, guys, I don't know if you knew this. You don't have to agree with everything we say. You just have to, all it has to do is stimulate what you think.
Yeah, we don't have to agree. I don't want to agree with you. I want to say things that you don't like, but we don't have to be canceled. We don't have to not have discourse.
You gotta have that same energy. No, I don't.
No, we're wrong. It's fine.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. So I just want to interject. We're right for ourselves.
But the thing is, and I always say this, we read our hate mail.
Yes,
on
and if
nobody
we're wrong,
does that.
If someone proves us in any convincing way that fucking
What?
Jimmy Carr.
Answer.
Jimmy, you're on speaker on the podcast.
Jimmy.
Oh, I can't believe my luck. This is huge.
You're a second time. You're the first second time guest, and what a special day.
Why, thank you. Thank you very much. What are you guys discussing? American politics?
No, we're discussing we're discussing whether fans of ours, listeners have to agree with us. The thing is, people think they have to agree with everything you say now, or you're canceled.
Well, this is to your argument. People are babies.
Yeah.
People say, well, the internet, it's an echo chamber, and then they only listen to stuff they agree with. They're crazy.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes. You and I agree on virtually nothing. You and I, Jimmy Carr.
Yeah, but I mean, your great quote on this is I don't agree with anyone about everything.
That's correct. Thank you for telling people.
Even the former you, even the future you, it's of course it changes over time. It's
Well, you know what I've started thinking of it as? It's like I'm a living document, like the Constitution. So I will sometimes, hey guys, we're going to make an amendment. Women, you know what? You can vote. Go ahead and vote, ladies.
It is extraordinary how seriously people take that Constitution, and they go, it's sacrosanct, and you go, you know there are amendments in this.
Yes.
You know what amendment means?
Yes, you can amend it. Yeah, you don't have to die for it. You just change it. I want to speak to you.
I was calling late night. I just played an outdoor arena in the UK. It was kind of okay, I guess.
How were people apart?
People were in little they were almost like in little metal pens.
Oh, okay. I think there was a picture of that over here. And what were the laughs like?
Maybe 1,000 people.
And
It was pretty good. It was playable. It was like a playable. You could hear them heckling. I like people to join in and shout stuff out when I'm playing, and that was a little bit tricky to hear what people were saying. But if you like, an outdoor arena, it's basically a field, is what it is.
yeah. And how many people do you think got infected? If you had to guess.
I think I've got some blood on my hands.
Yeah, 50.
Some COVID on my hands.
Hopefully nobody dies. Maybe a couple ventilators. But it's worth it because you made 18,000 pounds.
Precisely my thought. Look, at some stage, we're not finding a vaccine to this thing, right?
So what are we doing? Were we doing this? You want a show or not? You want to hear my knock jokes or don't you?
Oh, I want to hear your knock jokes.
Yeah. So then you're
in the middle of a podcast.
Yeah.
Which I happen to love. I don't want to get in the way of it.
Hey, do me a favor. When you're listening to yourself on the podcast, I think you'd be a fool not to masturbate. Okay?
It would be crazy. Speaking of which, how's thinking? How is it?
Speaking of masturbation.
Speaking of masturbation, let me talk to.
Hold on. I'm handing her over.
Hello.
How's Neal been? Are you holding the speaking spatula?
I'm
Call the speaking spatula?
That was. He was very mad at me. He was very
Well,
mad.
tell
at me.
her how great the spatula was.
No, the spatula was terrible, Jimmy. Back me
So
up here.
funny.
It really. Yeah, it felt like he'd been away on some kind of conference, and he decided this is how we communicate now with a spatula. Are you okay?
I'm okay. Jimmy, I'm trying to get to Austria for my cousin's wedding, and everyone tells me it's a bad idea.
Oh wow! Because you haven't mentioned that before. This is news just in.
Well, I was thinking, don't you know?
I feel like I should go to this wedding. I feel so invested in this wedding in Austria.
I was
that
gonna
you
do.
cannot stop talking about.
I was gonna do it. I was gonna do a layover in London if I go.
Oh, what?
And
if you come, please let me entertain you on the way to almost certain death in Austria.
well, then you have to take me to St. John. It's a demand and a wish.
I'm very happy to. Very happy to take you out and entertain you if you come to London. It's safe here. It seems kind of all right. I think they have it under control to some degree. People are wearing masks. People seem to be, I don't know. Getting back to normal. I think schools are back next week, so that's something.
Do you have any desire to travel, or are you good at home?
He went to Dubai.
Oh, you went to Dubai?
I went and did gigs in Dubai. I played an arena in Dubai, and then had to come. They said I did it specifically, but the tourist board paid for me to go, and it was meant to be some big, hey, Dubai's open, come here on holidays or vacation, as you adorably put it. And then they didn't open the air bridge, so I had to quarantine for 14 days for my return.
Are you serious? Oh,
yeah, Dubai is nice. Dubai is like the nicest shopping mall I've ever been to.
the whole country? I mean, the whole city?
Basically, the only bit I saw was a massive shopping mall.
But that's all it is, right? Isn't that all it is? Like, it just seems indoors, and then you drive. It's 140 degrees outside. And then
right. It was 44 degrees, which I've got no problem with, but it was nighttime. 44 degrees at night.
That's
I thought
wrong.
The heat was coming from the sun. I don't know what these people are
That's
doing.
120 for all
that's
you
120
simps.
at night. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah, and then
observation
they
about
took
the sun.
They took my temperature at the airport. I went, dude, everyone's hot. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
And you, by the way, I think you should start a truther campaign that the moon generates as much heat as the sun. I think now is the time.
I mean, the crazy thing about that is it's not crazy enough for those people.
No, we could get traction. I hope we do from this episode. Look, we're in the middle of letters. This was like a great guest spot. You really showed your value. I feel like you're gonna
Give you a
build.
call for a chat on Sunday when you're not recording. I genuinely keep doing the show. I adore it. It's such a fun listen. I love it.
Thank you very much. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Bless you. I'll talk to
Bye,
you soon, buddy.
Jimmy.
All right, John. Bye.
Goodbye.
Jimmy Carr. I told you I knew him.
You weren't lying.
People think I don't know these people. You don't think I know Ellen?
Well, let's see that
Please,
watch. Let's see that watch.
Medium. Just want to interject a procedural point on the AOC video. It's very adorable that Neal's and all his feels about women's self-confidence being hijacked by beauty companies, but I think you're kind of misunderstanding what's going on here with makeup tips. Makeup tip videos that are trying to get you to buy shit generally have some kind of language to the effect of, you can only get this flawless look with this particular fantastic thing. Hold on. This woman sort of just goes on and on. A video like this is more or less a female equivalent of kind of shooting the shit. And yeah, for the most part, I agree with not wanting to know about your personality and or likes, dislikes while you're in office. Personality has a lot to do with what kind of asshole you really are. If I were to find out that some of the cops in my town were obsessed with video games and watched nothing but 80s action flicks and Miami Vice reruns, I would have concerns. So there is an advantage to knowing some personal stuff about these guys. I'm not saying constantly, but I also have the ability to not watch them in the first place. So yeah. So what she's saying is AOC has revealed herself as a vain, shallow person.
What? No.
But if you're saying you want to know cops are ingesting and believe is viable
Why is
content.
that shallow? What her video was just her
Because
beauty
it's just
routine.
about what's shallow about my beauty routine. All of it.
But
It's not. There's nothing. There's
but
no.
you're saying
There's
it
no
in a
higher
negative
goal.
way. I don't think there's anything negative, inherently negative about that video.
I think it's vain. How do you define vanity?
No, we know what the definition of vanity is, but you're putting it in a light that's like shallow. Like shallow is negative.
Here's what I think. I think that the whole movement of videos like that are shallow and vain. And the hope is somebody, an intelligent person like Alexandria, I kind of miffed it, but I duffed it. AOC is above it.
But what's different from saying your beauty routine than going on YouTube and trying to figure out how to assemble something, or it's just an instructional video. I understand some push product and some do this,
But the value again, I don't want Chuck Schumer on the money phone because that's a fucking thing that people do on the internet. I think if you're an elected official and some of the women look up to, you shouldn't do shallow, vain, dumb shit. And same for men. I don't want to see Paul Ryan. I don't want to see the money phone. I don't want to see planking. No. I wouldn't want to see Ruth Bader Ginsburg doing that. And I also think people would be like, she's old. Well, old women wear makeup. Why not have her do it? It's just, it's belittles her. So whether it's a movement or not, by the way, anyone on the money phone should be saying, hello, bankruptcy?
Goodbye.
Because that's what's about to happen to you.
You've got mail.
Nianka, since this has come up a couple times, I wanted a clarification. Oh, this is great. I wrote the piece long ago about Al Franken working on a Chris Rock movie. Yes, I heard about it first on the podcast, but as a real reporter, veteran of AP, Frontline, etc., I called Senator Franken, who confirmed himself that he had indeed worked on the movie. If he'd said no comment or sorry, I'm busy right now or whatever, I wouldn't have written anything. So I'm not a snitch. I still, okay, then he goes, because A, 1, there's nothing at all wrong with Al working on a movie with Chris. 2, Al Franken was the main source of the information, not you, and he was speaking freely on the record.
We were the original.
We were the
source.
original source. So
wouldn't have
whether he can,
just hit him up
that's
for it.
exactly, My story didn't even mention HNF until the 7th paragraph, and I only mentioned it to prevent the false impression that I'd scored some sort of scoop. Yeah,
Well,
that's your other mistake. You mentioned it in the first 3 paragraphs, so you don't mention it at all, you cocksucker. With so much
Open with
mistrust
it.
and misunderstanding of the news media, I think it's unhelpful to act like we're all waiting in the wings for people to let slip unsourced nonsense and then pouncing. Real reporters don't behave that way. Gossips do. Anyway, love the pod. Shake off these haters. You don't have to take this shit, etc. I wrote back to him via email. As far as I recall, friend, you never would have known he did a punch up with Chris if you hadn't heard about it on the pod. And the article was definitely on some, quote, he's back and working in Hollywood type shit. And I felt like somehow that wasn't cool, even though, as Franken pointed out, he already was openly doing a podcast. From my POV, I do a thing with Chris. I mention it on the pod. You write about it. Then it becomes a thing that those guys have to answer for. Then I look like a snitch to them. Feel me? I hit him with some vernacular.
Uh-oh.
Just not ideal. As always, I don't have to take this shit. The haters are ever mutable. And how dare you use Frontline against me? Then he comes back at me. I guess I felt like it was all very pro-Franken piece because dude deserves, at the very least, a Hollywood comeback. And not to use both Frontline and The New Yorker, the 2 most fearsome weapons in the liberal arsenal. But I linked in the 2nd paragraph to the New Yorker article that shot down most of the claims against Al Franken. But henceforth, I'm strictly adhering to the no snitching policy.
Thank you.
To avoid any unintentional snitch fallout, which was never my intent. Thanks for writing back. My highest hope was that you and Banks might say on the air that my email was too boring, and this exceeds that. Well, I have some good news for you, my friend. It was a little bit boring. Now, if you want to write about Jimmy Carr doing an unscheduled drop-in, we loved it.
Yeah.
Knock yourself out.
Just write a piece about how much you love our podcast.
Yes. You want to write a piece?
Yeah.
Go write a piece.
Write a piece.
But you know,
No break in the news.
you don't make someone comment on something you heard here.
If you have to call someone else
Yes.
After listening to our podcast
Yes.
and ask them something directly, you did it bad.
Yes.
You did
well,
it bad.
again, he's basically saying that's what gossips do. It's like, no, that's what TMZ does. TMZ breaks lots of true stories.
Yeah.
How they get the information is not great because they get it from this podcast. Kid. I broke all that Ellen's an asshole stuff. You know, everybody knows that. Yeah. So yeah, don't. That the offer stands. And here's a funny Ellen's an asshole joke. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Not a joke. I had a Timex watch that I got on Amazon for $15. It's like gold, or a Casio. Sorry, like a gold Casio.
Yeah.
$13. It wasn't. It was plastic. It was whatever.
Yeah.
You saw it. And Portia, who sounds like a Porsche.
why she
Thank
got
you,
robbed?
Mike. Mike, if you're still listening to this and alive, you're making a mistake. She liked the watch. She liked my watch. So I did the thing that rich people do is I bought her one and gave it to her the next time I saw her. And Portia, trying to be nice, was like, looks to Ellen and goes, baby, look, Neal got me a watch. And Ellen goes, Neal, that's a nice watch. Where'd you get it? Woolworths? She's fucking a funny person.
Mean. That's so funny.
Funny, mean, great. Exactly what our relationship to be, what I want it to be, and God bless her. And then on the other side, it's a long story, but she's funny. Then she said a second beat of funniness that we don't need to get into.
Goodbye.
Final letter, Will.
You've got mail.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, y'all. LSTNER.
Well, that's nice.
So I know I'm codependent. Alcoholic father, mother extremely intelligent but emotionally distant. I sort of wake up in the middle of a fucked up relationship. Frankly, most of my relationships have been fucked up one way or another. I'm not entirely sure a deep and meaningful relationship is in the cards for me. I'm not sure I want that, and I don't trust myself not to fall back into the BS cycle of Superman to martyr to man scorned. Do you ever feel like that? K-Tal, pal. You want to read that?
Que piensas, Afro-Persian Latina princess?
Bianca, Bianca. She's a Caribbean woman.
Caribbean girl.
You know who loves that song?
Who?
Fucking Adele is all.
Oh, she can't have it.
That's her jam.
Well, you're
yes,
the one
I
in
worry.
these things.
I very much worry about the problem with being codependent in relationships is you never know if you're doing the right thing. You never know. I went from having no boundaries to using boundaries as a cudgel to keep people away. And I'd never truly know. There's so many variables in a relationship that it's impossible to know if had I been less boundaried with that person, it might have worked, or more boundary with that person, it might have worked, or I could have played that perfectly
and it
still wouldn't. Yeah. You can play what if with every relationship you've ever had, other than like absolute pieces of garbage. But maybe even if they cheat, I'm sure people play. I know people play the game of like, if I just sat on his face more, he'd still be here.
I mean, it's a strategy.
I mean, it's something. Look, you got to keep it on the table. You got to be open to it.
I'm not codependent. So, but I've dated codependent people, I'm pretty sure. And the ones I think are codependent are the ones that they never, like on the opposite end, they go against the grain. They are like fucking it up unnecessarily. It's like, yo, this doesn't need to be this difficult. Like there's nothing wrong or there's nothing, or like I really try not to be put on a pedestal. I don't like when a guy keeps doing that. I'm like, you're going to scare me away. Chill.
Yeah. You can't respect me this much.
No, it's weird. It's like drink your bathwater type of shit. But then it always flips. And that's why I'm like, don't do that because that's going to change. So just like empower yourself more, be a strong guy and chill out. Like I don't like the too much because I know that's going to go. And then when that goes, it's going to be weird and then it'll come back. It's like, I think that codependent relationships I've been in, or if someone has codependent tendencies, is the push-pull ones where it's like, stop, wait, no, but blah, blah, blah. And those ones they're crazy to me. They're just like, you want to lucid dream that person and just like, look at yourself. You're being insane. Yeah. Like, look at what we all see. You're so zoomed in, you can't tell like, what are my instincts right? Should I trust this? Should I do this? Why? Now I feel like it's so much anxiety and like weird childhood emotions that come up that like, it's really
wonderful childhood emotions.
I just feel like,
it's got
dude,
a childlike
essence.
But from their point of view,
yeah,
what you're saying, the problem with any kind of mental illness, that's not codependency is not a mental illness. I don't know what the category is.
But I feel like there's always something else going on.
Yes, but the problem with bipolar, borderline, any of the things is, hey, person, don't listen to yourself. Don't follow your instincts. Your instincts are sick. They're sick. Your
sick.
instincts are poison.
They're poison.
So even when you're on medication, you don't know if this one of the bad instincts or is this one of the good ones?
Right.
You just don't know. And that's like
it's like jump into the scary chasm.
Yeah.
Like you're going to make it. I literally dated a guy who's like, I don't know why it just feels like a matter of life or death. I'm like, what?
In a relationship?
Like everything was going fine. And it was just like, no, and I was just like, yo, I'm so chill in relationships. So it wasn't coming from me. And
that's also that's a codependent. Yeah, that's codependency. Is feeling like you need to perform up to a certain standard.
And then pushing, pulling, and then being like, I don't know which voice to trust.
Yes.
And it was just like, I was like, oh, okay. Are you good? Like, the fuck? That sounds insane to me.
Yeah, and you will never, and I don't know. My instinct is rush into sex, like just, they're all things that there are no boundaries, and then it's like, well, no, I gotta have boundaries.
Right.
How
does
I
somebody
gotta say,
work on that
less
shit?
So they got meetings every day, dog.
I think it's just something you need to like swallow, just plug your nose, swallow your vegetables, figure it out. Like,
but you don't know what the vegetables are. You don't know. There are so the tenets of the relationship, or just a decent relationship, is like, don't rush into sex, be honest, be da 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 da. So then, but your body is like, fuck boundaries. Let's go. Like, isn't that romantic to not have boundaries? Like, we're fucking crazy.
No, and it's true, because I remember being like, dude, you're gonna scare me the fuck away. Like, chill.
Yeah.
I don't like what you're doing. Like, I think I remember I kept saying to him, like, there's no rush. What's the rush? What's the rush? I don't have, if I'm not rushing, like, usually it's the woman. And if I'm like, I'm not rushing you, like, chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
And it's like this anxious clock. Like, it's like, this is the train that we're supposed to be on. This is the love train. We fuck, we fall in love. There's no boundaries. Like, it's like, they think it's Avatar, like, tail
Avatar,
clicking.
that Avatar,
like,
that ponytail shit.
The ponytail clicking. It's like,
which, by the way, gross and like ham-fisted. I mean, they also called it inobtainium, so whatever. The writing of that movie is so bad.
It was a visual movie. It was a visual art project.
Yes.
But yeah, no, that weirded me out, because it's like, you have a trajectory that you think we need to be on. I don't even know if you want to be on it, but we're on it. And it's like, slow the fuck down. I don't.
Yeah.
How does one breathe, chill, look at the reality?
You have to
Train yourself, work on
Yeah.
it.
It's Caesar Milan. It's like the piece of chicken's right here, and I want it so fucking bad. And you just have to, like, no, we're not doing that. We're doing something else. If I didn't know better, I would say we don't have to take this shit.
I think
we don't have to take this
about
shit.
15 minutes over
And
having not take this shit.
That's right. That's it. Look for us on clips on HowNealFeel, and if you want the full thing, although I think your cleavage is covered by the mic, which is a huge oversight. But again, Will, you were smart not to say anything, because you can't say,
Now's the time.
move the mic so I can see the middle of your breasts.
Yeah, because then I would send that to your
The
girlfriend,
HR,
and
which
I'd be
is
like,
me, and I would have rejected it. Thank you for listening. We don't have to take the shit. You don't either. Turn it off.
Goodbye.
The podcast is over.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah, fine.
Goodbye.
How you feel? How you feel?